Good afternoon, morning, noonday, night. I don't. It's. I don't even know what. Yep. All right. All right. For some OWCS. Let's go. Match has already started. Look at that. Look at that, chat.
Potentially, you're looking at like Stalker, right? Can you get a big overclock going? Maybe chunk some.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay?
And
Hear me out.
To kind of deal with that Genji.
It's gonna take me a bit, but it's gonna be awesome.
You need to be ready to disengage, but there's no opportunity for that. And that is a huge pick.
It's
we
snoozed
don't need
alarm.
to make use of the sound barrier. Laptop, of course, takes the perk that gives him 150 charge off the rail, so easy enough to get those.
I'll put YouTube stream on in a bit. But good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I missed a couple. Is that tired? No, it's my voice.
And that forces the sound barrier out. And this is actually great for Falcons, right? Because you can re-engage.
My voice just hasn't.
Exactly where you're at in terms of
Ooh. So is it really MAUGA versus MAUGA so far? You day. Thanks for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I'll make sure to a couple people had resubbed when I was going live there. I'll resub. YouTube stream I can probably put on in a bit.
The ace up the sleeve for AwCrap, that sound barrier that Haku had to make use of. Now, honestly,
it just takes a bit. Okay. I mean, I got like a decent amount of sleep. I just so remember when I said yesterday I want to maybe ride my bike to like where my house is gonna be. We did it, but woo, let me tell you, I learned that I gotta do that many times if I want to not have my calf and my like just cramp up, you know. So it was great. It was great.
But did you see how far Checkmate?
You said is MAUGA versus MAUGA back? I mean, this is like the first game of the day, so like some teams have strategies. I mean, Falcons have generally played that comp, so.
With a railgun shot, trying to make it interesting here towards the end, but that sound barrier should be enough. Where Checkmate ends up using that blade, has to go basically all the way down the hallway by the mega health pack, gets booped.
So they said it should be Winston, so this is a surprise. Well, I'm not surprised because it's on Control Center. So like if they're gonna run Winston, it's gonna be more on Garden, possibly Night Market. This is just the map where I wouldn't see Winston too much. At least I don't think.
Space in the middle part of the map and give Checkmate an easier killing field. But because Falcons are disengaged and AwCrap felt the need to chase them with that sound barrier, they don't have a good setup for Checkmate. You're right. He has to play. He basically needs a Sherpa to access the backline.
Okay, so what do we see? Do I see D.Va being played? That stage looks cool. I like those type of stages where they're kind of like.
More popular this year than I feel like at any point.
Victoria, thanks for the 8 months of the Prime sub. Thank you, appreciate it. And Lawanta, thanks for the 8 months of that Prime sub. Thank you, everybody. I guess at least get some sleep. Yeah. Ooh, D.Va versus D.Va. You know what? I'm happy. All right. I'm happy. Yeah, and then on Garden, if they know Farah's coming, the D.Va comps can make sense.
Maybe not ready for it, but it is going to be a little bit scary to deal with, especially that you can remove Checkmate's
early pick.
If Lab keeps shooting like this, it might not be an issue.
Who are the bands? Looks like it was Sim and Juno.
You lose that first round, but still putting up a pretty good fight on that Sojourn and gets a first pick off here, so that's going to allow AwCrap to get control.
I feel like this comp.
Oh yeah, no, I slapped. I just, like I said, I think I know it's not a lot, but I biked like 6 miles or something, and I just was, it was like very uphill. So I was it was cool though. It's like a nice day.
That obviously Falcons is on a lot of like comfort picks amongst all of their players, but I think that just
I'll get more into, by the way, I'll get more into commentating probably by the second map. Does that sound good? We're just in the mode of, you know, it's early. It's a little bit earlier. Noctian, thank you for the 3 months of the tier 1. Thank you. So we'll get into the flow. We'll get into the flow.
Checkmate here is definitely going to start to be an issue. Of course, he's taking the perk that empowers him during his overload, so definitely pretty brutal in the brawl fight. And Falcons, they kind of want a long
the perk for Torb's pretty good.
Cyberwolf,
Cyberwolf, thanks for the 26 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it.
I think this is obviously a better look here for Falcons because the Genji was giving a lot of problems to the
Good evening, emongg.
This is a good comp.
Just got home from work.
Oh, heck yeah. I actually really like that aggressive play by AQ because, like, if you're going to play against Falcons, you need to be, like, aggressive and do plays like that. And in my opinion, that was a really good job by both teams. But
it just feels like
wait, do the maps have like
you're just way more
little signs on them? That's kind of cool.
With that Pharah putting down damage from above, with the Genji and the D.Va combination, and just speeding up
that's
the
cool.
process for AwCrap. I think that's where you force him to start making.
Am I gonna sleep after? No, I'm gonna stay up. Yeah, we'll do a long day. Probably like a 14-hour day or so. We'll just do that for the next 3 days. So, yep.
Positive tempo for the blue side team in control of the point. Harbin just backs away and will allow Tread to get a remake, but there's not a lot else to work with for AwCrap. They just have to regroup.
Yeah, and it's Team Falcons actually going in behind Shio's sound barrier, right? The sound barrier over.
I'm so confused.
Into the overclock that comes in from Lambda, and you just push directly on it.
Why did the...
See, that is land deflex, bro. I mean, you can't do that online. That is ridiculous. That's 3 deflect kills.
Are the cats awake at this time? I think Sully is. But I think like they're kind of figuring out why I'm up early. Medieval Biscuit, thanks for the 28 months of the Tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it.
Use this blade basically in their spawn, and you get lobbed early.
That's the Stalker difference now. He's really starting to cause problems for AwCrap.
I can see where Sully is after this very quickly. As we get up.
And catches Haku with consummate ease. Now Tread's looking for Stalker, but again, he just repositions, gets back in a decent spot to fight.
Yeah, I mean, like, you expect Falcons to win the first map, which is, you know, like, it's pretty much what you expect. Because Falcons are obviously really good. But AQ actually had some really good moments during this map specifically, so, like, it could be fine. Like, it could... I'm curious to see what map they go to next. Do you think Saravasa is still the content map? I mean, not the content map, the map that, like, gets you back into it? That's what everybody was doing, with Saravasa all the time. So, JK, thanks for the 7 months of the Prime, so thank you. And I got to do my drives today after OWCS. That's going to be a treat. You know?
If you get an easy matchup in your first game, you're going to have to play.
That'll be a fun time. Okay, so we are possibly seeing the Winston that we heard. Yep. Winston versus D.Va. Again, I will say I think the Winston wins that matchup against D.Va. But in our OWCS, it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily about the tank matchup. Let me rephrase that. Winston versus D.Va won't be as like large of a difference, I guess, in an OWCS game rather than a ranked game.
It does give them a bit more of a robust response to
from time to time, Hachi, but I've just been having fun with Overwatch recently. But I think Rivals is a good game. And like I said, no problems with it. So OWCS, Ruben. Yeah. Great start there.
You really want to try and control, like proper, obviously, who's
on
the Pharah here.
But yeah.
Stalker. And yeah, like it's, you know,
you said the Han Winston? Yeah, I mean, listen. Oh, that was quick.
I was going to say, that's probably why you also have him on the Pharah.
See, I have like the... I get it, by the way, Hanman, okay? If I see a D.Va and I have any opportunity to switch off of the hero that I'm not as good at, but I'm still decent at, I am immediately going D.Va. Also, let me rephrase that. Hanbin's a very good Winston. I just wanted to feel better about my Winston not being good.
Trying to build up here towards a railgun shot, just trying to fire it across, but it's going to be difficult to kind of dive into
this core. Absolutely, Hachi.
On the opposite side.
So, folks, put it in the back of your mind. The D.Va Torp look forces Falcons onto a D.Va of their own.
Will I be doing a video on Stadium specifically, like an in-depth overview of the... we have some plans. I got to figure out what those are. There will be Stadium videos, though. I want to do some build videos. Like I'm gonna teach people the baby D.Va build.
Never truly over with Falcons, as regardless of the
I not this. Thank you for the prime sub. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, you still got proper alive on.
Oh, I have a good D.Va build. Okay.
I'm not saying things right.
I have a good D.Va build. I'm just saying. I discovered a very good one. Very good one.
High value there.
Peachy Angel, thank you for the 20 months with the Tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No. AwCrap, they just need one fight here, though, man. I mean, they're gonna have probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's a huge start here too for.
Still continuing this hard start.
Break you here.
Shield's got the sound barrier. This is a huge advantage.
I was gonna say that this is an interesting one too because I'm surprised that Falcons are actually going to commit some ultimates here. I talk about it a lot. One of like the. One thing I've talked about a lot with like this first point specifically on Cervasa, a lot of teams trying to battle for it and over ult. When, like, so what ends up happening is the team that wins that, if they have at least like 2 ultimates, they end up getting a 2-0 lead. And then they'll lose the next one, and then it's pretty much like a huge ult advantage. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's obviously Falcons. They're really, really good, so yeah. Is D.Va the meta right now? Probably not. But D.Va is obviously being played, so.
Now we'll have that available with Hiimishie having a mech refresh opportunity. It's going to be Lando that wants to push up here with his overclock. Big damage already going to get put onto the front line of Falcons, but they have a sound barrier to stave much of it off.
All right.
Proper there just has to pick away at the top.
A lot happening there. Another huge pick by Lambda.
It's going to be a trade though, and Stalker deals with his opposite number. Hiimishie going for a self-defense. Okay, bro. Come on. Kills Checkmate with a bunny blaster, then does it with a self-destruct.
Probably a good idea to go right off the map. Yep.
Absolute mayor of Value Town is Hiimishie here, and Falcons.
That's why you want to go off the map, because you're not going to get the point. You got to reset, and they will stagger you if you go anywhere away from that.
And the self-destruct to kind of mitigate some of the aggression that was going to
And
come
me
through.
playing Tracer, I mean, my Tracer's been okay, but it's the. Yeah, Tracer's fun. Tracer's fun.
Over to the Sim. So Sim.
All right, Chad. Now we're starting to feel it. Okay. We're good now. We're feeling the energy.
D.Va has no way to mitigate the damage of that Sim beam, right? So you become quite devastated.
I think Checkmate got isolated.
Okay, so there's like no ultimates on AQ side. They okay, so they just got. Yeah, they got traded on very quickly.
Many, I'm sure, does get rid of Checkmate. The switch over towards the Sim seems audacious here for AwCrap, but Tread and Lab just standing up in the absence of their teammates as Hiimishie tries to lock it down. Double back to his backline. Fielders having
Do
to
ya?
stay
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
We're getting there, chat. We're getting there. We're doing good. We're doing good. So you said it's first. You know, I'm kind of surprised it is first to 2. But I guess it also depends on how much time and all that.
Have to spend pretty heavily in order to get this Kitsune Rush committed to that fight, but hey, we're coming back on another lap to overclock.
I think the Battle Pass ones were done, right?
Switch to the Sim gives you obviously a little bit more offensive firepower than the Torb, but the Torb
It only for
really
today because
good
of
at
4
turret,
matches.
also aiding Landon and
Still, I'm
Hiimishie
surprised,
backline.
but
You saw right away in that first fight, Prober was able to get into the backline, land
all
on
good.
the take one out right away. If you're going to play this Sim, you're going to need to figure out a way to keep
Yeah, so AQ takes us here. I mean, like,
I want to see the value from it, Matt, otherwise
they can counter beat and they're going to go right in on. Yeah, that was a great counter beat.
Hard to see too many mistakes from AwCrap here in this fight.
Look at right now, like, it looks like they're going to take this team fight, and this might get down to the point where, yeah. So right now, like, for AQ, like, there's going to be one more team fight, but look at the ultimates they have. They could just, like, kind of, they could just win right here. The only difference is Falcons, they could all in with beat the same way that AQ just did, and that might be a winnable situation, but this is getting close.
The Kitsune Rush, they can use their Kitsune Rush after, so Falcons still in a pretty good spot.
Here come the Falcons now. Checkmate wants to try and set up.
There's the beat.
They're
going to look for the Sojourn. What a play. It's Hanbin, and I think that's the point. And as we were talking about earlier, you end up with that team having the first 2-0, so now, like, the ults are also kind of going in AQ's favor. Could they take this?
No, with so many good hit scan players in EMEA, like,
Could they actually do this?
One of the best, like, you can legitimately make the case like one of the best Sojourns in EMEA.
Yeah, from a region that features Quartz,
right?
Shockwave.
Yeah, man. Kai, I mean, yeah, just fantastic.
Probably use a sim wall here soon to make. Yep, there it is. The idea here is that, like, what can Falcons do? They have to back away, right? They got to kill on proper, and, like, again, like, just alone, they're gonna have the ability to, I would at least say, take this point. Actually, Falcons end up using Kitsune, so it becomes very interesting here. AQ is going to be able to help with the map, and I think if they can get the sim to go back and put a TP down on the way back, this should be quick. Actually, Lucio can just speed.
They're trying to make it hard for Tread to bowl Hanbin over. Obviously, like, this, the alpha damage that you can deploy there is a D.Va is very powerful, but Prober's having to get rid of Checkmate at the start of this fight. You're going to notice that Prober really...
Well, I think right now, at this point,
pretty extensively here.
That was a really, really good pick for Falcons. Now I think AQ is just going to play to kind of delay. They have D.Va ult. That's why D.Va's going to fly to the point. Really good sticky on the baby D.Va. That could result in a kill there. This was kind of what we... This was a team fight, by the way, that Team Falcons was going to more than likely win after the pick. So what AQ decided was that they were like, you know what? Why don't we just get a little bit of extra percentage? Right? Why not just like commit Diva ultimate, go there? I mean, look at that. That basically gets down to what? 67%. You go there, get the point. Yeah, they'll be good.
And I mean, who knows kind of what happens in a fight like that. Where,
what are the drops?
The Torb was really effective against the
OWCS drops.
Sombra can obviously like hack the turret and take it offline for, you know, a brief bit, but still, it's not. You would much rather see the Genji here, right?
Okay, so here comes the EMP though. This is where it gets kind of interesting. Is like this, like an EMP right here could be really strong. They are able to target down the Torb.
Even he, not enough to stop Team Falcons with a sound barrier, and there'll be an EMP.
You know, again, actually no, I see why. Labda got a kill and then immediately they did that. So now it's a 3v3 again, right? I think they're going to be aggro. They're going to go for this, I think. Hanman has ultimate. You at least force another ult out. Yep. That's one of those fights where it's like, you can't blame AQ for ulting that or trying to all in that because you did have opportunity to win it. So you would go for those opportunities. And they kind of reset the ult pool on Falcons, so it's kind of like now the game is reset on the neutral. Yeah, so not too bad. Not too bad.
Like bunker type like setup, right? Very stationary. Doesn't want to play that aggressive.
But you can render Sombra unable to translocate away. Yes, with that hindrance grenade.
Why is MAUGA so good in pro when he's bad in ranked? I mean, he's pretty good in ranked too, but I mean, it depends on the rank though. But yeah, it's just teamwork. That's all it is. Like when you have the support to be able to go in there and you have the cooldowns and people go in with you and engage, like it's not like an easy kill. So
Falcons do get that flashpoint there, Matt, critically. Yep. The switch over towards the Echo, composition, I think there's a lot of hate for the Diva. Probably hard for Tread to be as active, to be as busy in this fight now.
I mean, you get tacked, there's the focusing beam, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Then, virus, like there's a lot of burst damage potential that you can't really predict. It just kind of happens out of nowhere.
Okay.
Wow, really good start here. Again. And look at that, they're able to take the team fight, and that's why it was really important on the previous fight. Also, is the volume levels fine, chat? Like with the casters and me? That's why it was important, though, that they like went for that one team fight, because it got Falcons to overall. I mean, Falcons are going to have no ultimates for this initial team fight unless they play it slow, but they want to take another team fight to get the ultimates out by AQ, otherwise they just get ulted on. So, volume's good? Okay, perfect.
Wasn't able to jump out. I mean, what you see here, I mean, dude, he is locked.
Lab has been hitting shot after shot. Like, it's not even like...
I'm like, hey, get this next one fired up as soon as possible. We don't need a break. Let's just keep it rolling.
I'm a bit surprised by the beat, though. That beat feels a little bit aggressive there, because that team fight was definitely won. Don't be surprised to see Falcons win this next team fight. And for AQ, that's going to be okay if they do, right? You're going to, like, Team Falcons have ults. I actually like this. They're going to be really aggro on their backline and push in. Only problem, and it's not being looked at, they flipped the point, too. So now, like, they could, like, stagger the baby Diva.
That's going to give them a good 20 to 25%. Even before this stagger is done.
Yeah, you're going to keep Tread alive here for as
long
as possible.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
That's brutal. You're going to get probably another 15% on the point out of that. Just staggering.
Yeah, whoever went and flipped point for Falcons on there probably was Stalker, right, on Sombra. That was a great play. That actually might win the point for them just because of that back cap. That was the problem, was the back cap. If they didn't back cap that, then, like, that's fine. They can't even stagger the Diva because the Diva can sit on the point. But the back cap allows for them to get that play, so excellent decision.
Yeah. They're not quite as successful. It's a duplicate of a Diva for proper. So very durable looking Team Falcons there. And Tread once again will be forced to hang around too late like the estranged uncle at the Christmas party. Staggered out for all eternity to get Team Falcons to 2-2.
It's really necessary, Gio. It's really the stagger that buys them a lot of percentage for Falcons. It just basically means they need one more fight there.
Crap, can you pause? Oh, God.
Well. Much more competitive here.
Chad, I promise Temmels will be better after this. Randomly pop it up in a second.
Probably not enough to finish him off.
Maybe the Winston though.
I can do it.
Landon desperately trying to scramble away from the Winston. He's able to switch step out, and once again, proper dies to
I think I
Lambda.
did it.
It's been the story of this game so far. Stalker's able to get out after finally getting rid of Lambda.
Okay, we're good.
Both him and Harbin to
Oh, hey, buddy.
go down, and Lambda gets hit with a virus.
Hey,
Force
I got
away,
it, Crap. You're good, you're
Lucio,
good.
Pancake, Harbin touches down a Stalker. Well, once he's got the scent of you, he does not give up the hunt.
Every time we watch Proper, he's just making a beeline for Lambda. That time it is Stalker as well as Primal Rage here from Hanbin.
Sully.
Trade going to be resetting off.
I want to see if he goes in the bucket.
This will be Falcons in control of the point first. I feel like AwCrap needs a fight win in such a desperate way.
I like the perk take here for Hanbin that gives regeneration to those under the projector.
I think Falcons are going to use beat to beat. Yep, there it is. Right, when you see them going in like that, it's because of that. But the counter beat, I don't think they were ready for. So that counter beat right there by AQ is huge. And what they're doing is now they recognize they don't have to sit here and try to, get these last few limbs. They get to the point ASAP and buy themselves another team fight. So this gets very, very interesting right now. Very interesting.
Falcons doesn't have a lot, right? I mean, they don't have anything at this point. I mean, they'll end up building up towards that EMP rather quickly. But with how Lab has been playing,
because now they have, Lab gets a huge pick right away. Oh, that's going to delay them quite a bit.
I mean, Falcons don't have a shield to work with. Hanbin obviously is not deploying the barrier unless he's committing to the fight. You've got to try and take space away from the Soju, but then there's Torb that gets in your face instantly, as is just evidenced in that moment by Proper falling to the
Hey, look at that. They staggered the Sombra there now. They got their revenge. Suki, thanks for the 1,000 bits. Thank you, appreciate it. He said, "Is this a rerun?" No. The matches right now? No. Or me? No. Either way, no.
Looks like they're going to back up, allow them in.
On paper, Falcons should win this team fight. And the only reason being is they have an out stack. Like right now, they can go in with that. Yep. This is the correct play. They want to get another ult out here. Dude, this is going to be the problem. My concern here for Falcons is that it's last team fight for the point, okay? It's last team fight for the point. So my concern here is, if you look at the ultimates Falcons have, they're just going to rush in the EMP. I just don't think AQ can win that unless they get these off at the right timing. There's a beat. I mean, they tapped the point. I don't know, actually, this that beat might have went in their favor. Oh my, I think they win. I think it's going to a third map. They did that perfectly. What ended up happening was they got beat just in time and didn't get a kill. Oh my, we got ourselves a series. We got ourselves a series. Holy crap. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm shooting, boys. I'm shooting. I mean, Zeta Division's there as well, right? The depth
okay, it's officially started. Here we go. I have to sneeze in a second, so
this is very similar to
might randomly mute.
Control Center, but because
it's brewing, but I can't. It's not. Okay, they started. Here we go. Yes, MAUGA versus MAUGA. I was just hoping. Let's go, baby. I was just hoping this is what we would see with the deciding map.
The other side, Checkmate, going to be playing that tour. If they can neutralize Proper on this Genji, AwCrap could take this.
I mean, they couldn't do it in the first map of the series, could they?
But there was no Brig.
Brig out?
Right? So Brig actually adds a little bit more of a defensive mechanism into it.
And hopefully we can talk a bit about our perks.
Now, obviously, Team Falcons played very well in this comp, as we've seen. But AQ kind of starts off pretty strong here with a pick, but never mind. You know what? We'll just say that they got it pushed 3 meters right now, that they really won the team fight, right, chat? Yep. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's the Overwatch we want to see.
It seems like they're just really strong here. Falcons at playing
live now, yeah. OWCS is on. This is the finals and all that stuff. Not the grand finals right now, but you know what I mean, like when all the regions come together. The champions clash is what it's called.
Early on, it's a pick from Stalker, getting Checkmate, obviously pretty massive.
We rooting for? I usually root for good Overwatch.
In this composition, in this style.
That's usually what I'm hoping for.
So losing him early on, that's things for AwCrap.
This is a normal stopping point right here at the sign because you can play cover right in the corner. The MAUGA plays right there. Bot can't push past that. You pretty much just basically play the neutral until one of the team either over ults or Sojourn just gets a pick. Usually how it goes. Yep, there it is. There's the ult stack he'll do.
just inanimate objects.
They do pop the brig out, but is it enough? I don't think so. Yeah. Good news for Falcons is they at least did, not for Falcons, for AQ is they did at least save most of what, well, they didn't save their ultimates, they have ultimates.
No slowdown. That was the orbital ray there used for AwCrap. It is a rally invested there for Falcons, so don't have that big brig ult here for all of the ultimates.
There you go, going to the point.
But you're going to be able to fight with your orbital ray and cage fight. Like, that's a pretty nasty combo in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Trade here in that front line now as the orbital ray comes down. He wants to try and get clear of it. Of course, the damage boost can be a bit of a problem, but Haku is not allowed to.
All right, we have a bunch of ults here with MAUGA.
Trade is made use of, but again, you can break through it pretty quickly. As the Molten Core is a deterrent for Falcons, but they do happily take that close fight, and it's another comfortable win. Checkpoint game.
Yep.
And they're well and truly off and running.
It's like have we ever given a player of the match to like a player on an individual hero? Like just proper on Genji
up here?
is the player of the match. Yeah.
Don't worry
Only when he was playing Genji. That's the player of the match. As right now, Falcons pushing deep into AwCrap territory. They're gonna go play the sim.
Somebody's just saying hi.
We'll see now if this makes any bit of a difference, but it seems like Falcons totally fine backing up, conceding some space here to AwCrap, and then taking the fight on their terms. Probably building up another blade.
This is the kind of map where you can set up defensive turrets when you're playing in these sort of narrow straightaways and those little corners. You can give your backline a little bit more. It might be the turn for proper, as it'll obviously get snarled up in those, and it's an issue for him to try and dive in. First of all, get rid of the TP. Remove that mobility now away from AwCrap. It's time to go. Another blade! God, easy come, easy go, I guess, and proper just whips it out once more. Easily dealing with Haku first. Lambda, who would have been scary in any other team fight, not in this one.
Yeah, you just play around that corner for Falcons. Proper at that point was like 86% to a blade, so you let him farm that up. And then AwCrap kind of forced the play.
This is rough so far because it's exactly what
corner. The clock would just
like Team Falcons are just good on MAUGA, and that's the problem.
They have to be the team that is the aggressor, and you're just going right into a blade.
On staff, thanks for the 27 months for the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it.
Falling apart here towards the end.
Big rally, there it is. Morale boost taking the fielder, so
Good morning everyone, I just went a 3-game loss, so I'm chilling here before I take a nap. Emongg blankies, emongg blankies, emongg blankies.
As they dive into a backline.
In your bucket.
AwCrap looked pretty competitive in the first map. Obviously take map 2.
The bucket boy returning.
Falcons asserting their dominance here towards the end. Not the way that AwCrap would have liked to see this one potentially end. It'll be Stalker end up using the overclock.
Can you guys tell that Matt is gearing up for a match finish here?
We are 124 meters.
Hey Emongg, I'll see you when I wake up.
Narf, thanks for the 30 months of tier 1. Thank you. I'm trying to let Sully settle here, chat. Sorry for no commentary for a second.
The opposite way. We've seen it.
Statistically, though, one of the most unlikely outcomes that you can imagine here on this kind of map. Harvey knows caught inside the cage fight. Now Checkmate also going to throw a wall.
Okay.
So this is AwCrap.
They get a team fight back.
They get a favorable fight, and to their credit, they don't spend the rally or overclock in doing so. So that's 1 out of 6.
I'm co-streaming this. Heck yeah, yeah. It's I told chat we would.
Still, so they're going to get another fight.
He's on ready to go to bed, but I think he reinvestigated his bucket, and he's ready to eventually go back to sleep in the bucket. He just ended up hearing Arnie, so he was like, okay, here we go.
Then you're going to get a slowdown with checkpoint. Then you're going to get another fight, right? So it's like, and you only have so much time, right? You're going to need to be perfect for AwCrap.
Okay. I mean, that was a good start. I mean, right away, winning against that, but then that's not going to be good to trade. And Sankiss, thanks for the 21 months with the tier 1. Thank you. And you're right.
Next month will be 22 months.
Wow, you're right. That is true.
We're not even back with the bot towards mid-map, right? Blade's going.
And there's a blade going. I'm kind of surprised by that. Proper went a little bit earlier than expected. But, like, this is the problem that can happen here against Falcons is, like, in what should already be a lost team fight, they're just so strong in the MAUGA comp. Checkmate is able to get a kill there, but they have cardiac overdrive again. They get the trades, but there's, like, there's no progression happening right now either, so just got to be careful of.
At least though have some positive momentum back in the fighting. Hope to find more than just the 1 kill. They have to be satisfied.
Okay, and they're gonna reset. Okay, they're gonna be able to reset some of the spawns. Nope, Hanman stopped it. Oh man, this is rough.
That gives you like a puncher's chance.
Enemy thanks for the 10 months of the primes. Thank you. Shit. Thank you.
They just constantly flood out.
So Hanbin actually tap in the middle right there managed to force the that manages to force the spawns. So like the team is able to get the good spawn still. So like that was why it was such an important play. Yeah, saying I'm up early, Pops.
With the cage fight, Proper can only deflect for so long before he's got to give up the ghost. And still,
I wasn't joking. Are they playing on an old patch? Nope. MAUGA is good in a pro team setting. That is what is good about it.
At this point, AwCrap has to invest into every single scenario, right? With the clock just kind of bleeding down. And Falcons, they just keep throwing bodies at it, right?
In a pro setting, that's what happens.
Another fight. Force them to consistently fight here. And only, I mean, you gain out of all of this, right? It's been about 2 minutes. You gained a little bit more than 3 meters.
But yeah, I mean, it's because of like the spawns and just how they play it. They have a set strat of holding the high ground here, which is why they picked the map. And the problem is that AQ's kind of always reactively counter-ulting right now because of the way that Falcons plays. So, yeah.
And it's a huge ask.
Isn't he more useless now that his cardiac got nerfed? No, because he's being used purely like the cardiac overdrive is being used by MAUGA to keep MAUGA alive at that point. It's just not being. That was what the matchup was always about. Right? I think they would do probably something separate from Stadium if they did esports for it. Is my guess. What's Briggs' strength in this matchup? Yeah, you basically just counter Genji and you also just keep your other support alive. It's not even really about counter. It's like the ult is just good, the counter good. Labby gets a Widow pick. That, you know, don't see that too often. Well, what would have happened if out of nowhere AQ wins off of 2 Widow picks? No? Okay. Is my sleep schedule normal? Well, usually, yeah. But I mean, this being up at this time isn't. Yeah, you're right. The sound does feel off, doesn't it?
Now Checkmate will go over to
I heard that too. Let me see something here.
Flat out mirror matchup. It'll be Hanbin getting that close spawn, so you're going to get another fight here.
50 seconds to play.
I don't know if that will do anything, but
at the disposal of Landon here, and Team Falcons don't have any big ultimates to rely on.
I mean, the good news for AQ is they only need to win 23 team fights in a row from this point to win the game. And they also lost their Juno right away. And then they lost their Genji. And I think that's the game. It's not necessarily the game, but I don't know if they get back in time.
And now 17 seconds left. It's the final stand in this upper bracket for AwCrap.
And that's a fight win there for Falcons through the orbital rate and rally on the opposite side. That is nasty work here. Is under 5 seconds. It is right up to the spawn door.
There's no way Trev was going to survive that.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that. I mean, still like still a really good series by like AQ here. It's 1st to 2 for I guess first day, which I'm surprised by, but a good first series to start. But like again, it just came down to MAUGA. AQ was able to win the non-MAUGA matchup, but then once you got back into MAUGA versus MAUGA, it just wasn't close. And yeah, I mean, what do you do against that? The MAUGA comp still works very well. So it's starting, chat. It's officially starting. It's time. VP versus once again. Will once again be able to win once again, or will I got nothing? I can't think of anything. But still, you get the point. Here we go.
If there are cobblestones in here, you'd be able to see them. We're back, folks. Once again,
like coffee jitters. I was like, I see that, but no, I don't feel them.
Here we go. It's going to be an Orisa comp here for Virtus Pro.
Okay, so an Orisa comp versus a Winston comp, which we're not surprised by with once again's tank. Oh, that crowd is going to be into it, chat. Remember, once again, this is like a hometown game. That crowd is going to love every limb right now.
This team, right? So good at these types of compositions. And when we see them moved off of that, that's when they are beatable. But VP coming out here with Orisa, Sim Torb off the...
Yeah, it's an interesting comp. For Garden, it's a very interesting comp. And it's not like interesting as in like, oh, bad or anything. It's like, it's just, you don't see that often on Garden. This is the one where you opt for more a bit of that, you know, dive-based comp that we're seeing. It just, on Night Market and Control Center, though, the Orisa comp can be really strong in there. It's just a surprise to see it on Garden. Yeah, well, yeah, they want to anchor the point, but like, how do you... I guess it's the comp that if you can get the point from the get-go, it makes a lot more sense. But you need to win the point to be able to do that. It's a tough retake comp. It's not to say they won't retake at least once this like specific round, but once again, it's gonna Kitsune in pretty quickly. Mio, thanks for the 11 months of the prize. So thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Jushwe briefly knocked back by the Javelin, but he's having to corral Virtus Pro inside the dojo, and now he's going to teach him a lesson. The black belt of Winston himself has come to take the place over. Shy again.
I'm just waiting.
To keep VP locked in that room. Jay move over towards the point. The rest of Virtus Pro able to TP there now. Kitsune Rush in play for
it's a good TP, but okay. Holy crap! Haven't watched the season 16 trailer yet? No, not yet.
Could you have asked for a better start? For once again,
what a start by once again.
We're actually unfathomably back right now. It is crazy. There's the stick. No,
that's gonna force ults out though. That's huge.
Inside their own spawn. The #1 seed from Europe is already under extreme duress now.
Yeah. Oh man. And you know they can hear that crowd. Like, listen. What a start for once again. Did the crowd cheer? That's why it's cool to have like when you have like the hometown teams. Hi, buddy.
Get me a box seat for that.
So it was actually a really nice Suzu from Gala to keep Fixa alive. That pulse bomb actually connects, but Gala able to keep Fixa alive. That allows him to beat, but you're beating back in your base, right? So not an ideal scenario for VP. Is honestly, I think for VP, you just gotta chuck that one.
That was a really good one.
Absolutely nothing.
And before Suravasa, always gotta go Suravasa, right?
Yeah, brutal. Really couldn't get started. Jason, of course, is
good boy, buddy.
Yeah. I mean,
boy.
Look.
Yeah.
Jalu has been heralded as like a real up-and-coming player. Like people have said the next proper, right, potentially. But on the sim doesn't really have much space for that skill expression.
All right, I mean, so I do think VP's comp will be a little bit better on Control Center. This is like one of those maps that Winston's good here, by the way. But I think that VP's comp is going to be better on this map than it was on Garden. So this would be a better tell on like where they at on this. I really love the audio delay. It really adds to the experience. Yeah, I'm like surprised. Like I don't know how like obviously their scrims are like their team comps are being ran in this, but
I mean there's no threat, right?
Yeah.
There's zero threat of anyone taking him out. So Vistola gonna go over to the remote.
Exactly.
Here.
So we'll say, but
changes as well. I imagine you change out the sim here. So yeah, so you're gonna change out the sim onto the tracer. So obviously making a complete comp switch pretty much here for VP. I think it was necessary. They were not going to win playing that style.
Oh, they're just getting dove on. They're just getting dove on. I mean, the Ramatra swap makes sense, but again, I think this is just a change of pace. Like, you just need to... They're basically not giving them any opportunity or space to make a play. Right? So it's... You know, the once again man looks really good right now, banning the Diva.
They need anything positive to happen. I mean, it's not really just on one player for VP. I mean, they are just
once again they're gonna be aggro. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're Kitsuneing in. They're being aggressive. They're not giving them any space. They're building ultimates. Like, they're gonna have to peel back now to go with the Tracer 1v1, but I think Leave is fine with that. Yep.
Getting north of 50% and counting. Leave another pulse bomb here, and Gala's not on the Kiriko to stave it off. If it's a stick, it's basically a kill.
Oh.
But it might not even be needed in this fight.
Wait. There it is again.
Wins his way into the back line and plucks off the last remaining support player.
Yep.
Stick is good, folks. Vistola will fall as Mew finds
Dude, that crowd is into it. I'm loving it.
Not on the level of once again.
I'm loving it.
This does not look anything reminiscent to the Virtus Pro we saw throughout stage 1.
Yeah, well, I think
OWCS.
there's multiple things that might have to happen. If once again plays like this and VP isn't able to match that,
You said it.
yeah, they might have to go into like that defensive like back line.
They're gonna take that long.
But I don't know if that's being ran a lot, like the Brig, like maybe Brig Juno.
And I mean,
they're gonna run that comp because I just like look at the pace, right? Like look at the pace of
Pulse bomb here as well, but it's gonna be a Gushway primal here. He's gonna have primal anyway.
of once again. Like they're very, very aggressive. So if they're gonna play like that and constantly engage like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like delayed a little bit or like shift up their backline comp, but we'll see. But VP does get back into it finally. All right, VP does get back into it temporarily. Oh no.
Space created once more. Virtus.pro shattered and Shy is back in position to unleash hell.
And they get that
He says the delay only happens when the stream is in full screen. If you
from once again, they work their way
so just like hit that. Okay, I get what you're saying. So you're saying if I, I'll wait till this match is over and I'll see if it fixes it.
It really ultimately doesn't feel like it is. Once again, it's just dominating.
Yeah, it's a one-sided affair to be sure. This is a VP Mac pick, and even with Farah out of the game,
that's it.
Edges on this Tracer.
Wow.
Absolute domination.
Give me 1 second.
And you better believe that's a pleased crowd as once again slaps down this EMEA #1 seed in the first map.
That is about as good of a 2-0 performance you can get on #1.
That was
That'll be once again
a very interesting first match. But listen, once again, really good team. The home team crowd right now, like the energy's there. The next match, VP can dictate a ban. They can dictate a couple other stuff. So, yep. Hey, listen, LANs are cool. Like they're always a blast. Like
they never left. They were always here.
Like I always love seeing that stuff. Like even like just
we actually get right into this. So we'll get an idea. So it is Circuit.
Yeah, LANs are always a good time.
Highlighting this potentially. We'll get an idea.
Did you just, did you? Well, hopefully everything goes well with that. I'm so normal.
We forgot about Ligue, of course.
Yeah.
You can
Shadow Knight Star, thanks to the 12 months of the Tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. It is early.
Not a fresh face at all, but just likes to change his name to a different Pokemon every year, which I respect, but also can be confusing.
Like when Morta would ask us to pronounce his name in a different way every year.
Valutaya Morta. Yes, so there you go.
So it's a Ramatra ban for VP. So
okay,
it looks like they actually probably just use that to protect the tanks. Right?
All right. So once again is bringing in. Oh, I see now. I'll be honest with you. When someone earlier said that once again is bringing in Liege, I thought there was just like a random like. I just randomly misspelled something. I didn't know the full once again roster. I'll be real with you. Now it makes more sense. Now it makes a lot more sense now that I see it that way. You know.
And of course,
so,
with the right perk,
all right.
Increase that Inspire uptime drastically.
Urzabear, thanks for the 43 months of the Tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
We finally get Jwoo here on a hero that offers more skill expression options.
Holy early. Good morning and good night from me, Mr. Streamer Man. Memes kiss me.
They played it. Oh damn! Well, have a good night. Heck yeah. The audio. I can fix the audio. Let me try this, chat. I think this fixes the audio. 1 second. Okay, see if that fixes it. Absolutely did not. Unless Shy has the perk of just shooting as Sojourn without any sound issues. Just like Liga. Okay.
Once again, give you enough rope to hang yourself.
And VP is fine, slowly taking up, moving.
Like VP here is like.
But you see there, that's where the Baptiste would come into play. The dive comes in.
It's been weird how it's been like a struggle. For the YouTube stream to be better, I can check out the YouTube stream after this one. It's on the main channel as well. Okay, so I can check the YouTube stream and see if it's better. Oh yeah, once again, it's looked like great so far. The way they've been playing this has been like unreal.
If Shy hits like a big railgun, you can go in on that.
It also does it means that like the Genjis get to play so much closer to like the action. Easier access to backlines, potentially. That's why Liga's got his work cut out for him, and he's already dealt with Fix-Up. Rally here for Mew. Gotta catch them all, he says.
I mean, once again, is playing with, like, just confidence right now. What's happening to VP, and I don't know if they haven't been playing a lot of teams that have, like, this type of pacing, but once again is basically just going in. There's no, like, downtime. They're not giving them, like, any room on that one, so. Bug, thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great stream. Vistola is a really good Sigma player. Whenever you like, whenever I like describe like how Vistola plays as a tank, like one of the most like fundamentally sound like players you'll see. Thank you. Like I said, hope you had an awesome stream. That's what we like to see. Like Vistola is just very, very like fundamentally sound, just so good at so many tanks. Okay, Fixa does get a kill, and this is kind of what they need. They need to start seeing a little bit more like team fights like this. This is what VP's needed. Finally, if this feels like the first time we've seen VP settle, right? Like they finally are like, okay, here we go. We're good. Right?
I mean, you might be looking at yourself going to the loser bracket just off of that, right? So you absolutely need to go as hard as possible in that fight. But pretty good defensive showing this far from once again.
This has got to be one of Virtus.pro's best maps, best looks against a team like once again. It's a must-win. Obviously, goes without saying in a first to two, but with this comp, you've got to show your best. Leave there. Well,
it's a really aggressive play here.
Duel of Genjis with a deflect to claim Jaewoo. Shockwave's overclock doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Shockwave's overclock though gave them a little bit of space here, so like now they can at least try to be aggressive. The problem is once again it's gonna brig out as soon as they have opportunity to get in front of the Sigma. Yeah, there it is. Now they just all in the brig and they trade out on the brig out. Really bad time in there. And the worst part is that like technically as VP you probably just want to give them that team fight because you already lost one. Then you come back with your own brig out because they're going to have Juno ultimate now. So once again is going to play really aggro for the next two team fights. Next two team fights should be a very aggressive approach again by once again. VP would then build up a couple ultimates, and if they win off of that they could probably get most the second. We'll have to see how it goes. Or how it plays out.
Kind of just poke down as you moved up. And it's hard because you need to hold on to some of these resources like your shield and like your kinetic grasp to have the HP pool to exist, but if you don't use them, you might just die.
Oh, Vistola's going to be in trouble here. Yep, absolutely pounced upon.
Which we knew this was going to happen. There was going to be some outs, but VP does survive some of that. So in a team fight that I thought once again might win pretty like handily, actually goes in favor of VP, and VP's able to take away a little bit of the map control. So pretty advantageous right there.
Hey, they got other plans. Shy will pop an overclock. You still have a lead here as well. They're going to end up getting Mew back in the fight here as well.
And Vistola's a little bit too late to the fight here. I mean, you saw just how exposed Fixer was in that situation against an overclock from the GOAT Shy.
Ugly.
Oh, buddy.
Okay, so once again did win then. Okay, it was looking like VP was going to win that, but then once again won. There's the May swap, yep, which we heard, right? I think it was Reinforced was saying that VP actually ran May.
I think once again banning the Baptiste here is such a great call. I mean, the BAP is so good
on this map specifically, so I'm not surprised to see that. VP's going to use their Juno ultimate. The problem is I think both teams are going to end up kind of just like being kind of in the neutral for a bit. Vistola gets a huge pick though on the brig, and that actually is going to go in their favor. So VP does get an important team fight win, and honestly are kind of set up for a pretty easy second fight here. If once again wins this next team fight, I think VP just misplayed this next team fight. Like VP has Brig out at a choke, a May to really disrupt anything they do, a Sojourn ultimate to go with. Like they just should not. They should not lose this team fight. Mayel in a second. I mean not Mayel. Maywall if need be. Which at this point, once again, is going to try to take a little bit of poke. I thought they were at least. Instead, they go through. Yeah, there it is. And that's perfect because now VP gets the point and they go to third. You know, again, not the best timing, but not the worst, right? Not the best time, but like you cap the point, that's better than nothing. And once again, is a little bit low in ultimates. They're going to be able to Juno ult, but I think VP's getting enough ultimates now to be able to counter that with May ult or Sigma ult, right? So.
You know, like the floaty perk here, just, you know, it can be effective in some cases.
I think that part's going to be really cool.
Anybody gets too close, they're kind of held in place, hovered a bit, and then shot back. It's really bad if Leave gets caught by a raid of melee. But you do need to hit 5 direct hyperspheres to charge that up, so you're not going to have it available all the time.
There is so much.
They're going to disengage, but they might Mayo as like a defensive measure here. Really good disengage by VP. The disengage was next to perfect. You might see an ult here now. Yep. Reason why, ooh, yeah, been there. I mean, that was a good play by Vistola. So what happened there is Vistola ulted that because when the D.Va used flight, you know you have a free ult, and D.Va can't fly out of there. So initially you go for the ult, you see if you get multiple. If you don't get multiple, you just kill the D.Va, and that was perfect. So you demag the D.Va, now you have map control. Ooh, this is a really good flank by Shy. It's a risky play by Shy, but if they can turn and do this right, Shy can fall right over. Nope. Oh, what a play. And the Mayel's too late. Like, they're going to get a kill, but, like, really great play. Stola, yep, rock. I don't think anybody can tap, though. So, you know, a decent showing there, in my opinion. Like a decent showing by VP on the attack. Like, you're not upset with that, especially when you're playing more of those Sigma-based comps. Like, you feel that you should win defensively. I already asked, when is the best time to pull a D.Va on CR? I generally swap D.Va on second point if we're struggling to get anything going. I do like playing Sigma on this map, though. I prefer playing Sigma on this map. Again, it's preference, right? Once again, is leaning more towards playing like that D.Va comp, things like that. So like they're kind of playing more as a team meta. So in ranked, I think it's a little bit different on how that would be approached. But I usually, if I feel like it's about 3 team fights in a row on second, and I can't get high ground or get anything going, that's when I would make the D.Va swap more than likely. But that's in a rank setting. OWCS is different. Like, these teams practice all the time. They do all that, but why isn't Vistola mirrored? Because I don't think Vistola has to mirror. I actually think Sigma's a really good play in that situation, and I don't even see a reason to make the swap to D.Va there to mirror. I think, like, you're just playing into the team comp that once again wants that point. You can argue that, hey, maybe they should have gone D.Va there, but it didn't feel like it was really because Sigma was a bad pick. It just felt like once again was setting the tone and the pace. And that doesn't mean like you need to go mobile heroes to do that. You can just use your ultimates quicker, or you can be more aggressive. You can take away angles, things like that, are also being aggressive. So yeah.
Big ask, I think. Still on the corner here, like catching someone out, just giving you a couple of extra seconds to get damage on Liga might result in a demeg.
Yep.
There's the wall that comes out.
What a start.
It won't stop. The wall doesn't slow once again down for a second.
Nope, it does not. And I think it's because, once again, is being aggressive at all times. They just play so aggro.
Just getting into that space and like, screw it, let's just take the fight as fast as possible. You know, an unwillingness to like lose those May perks, which are quite powerful. Like, wall up 5 increase is pretty potent, but there's no good situation. I mean, now
BP has a retake.
Now it's really not good.
This is just another neutral fight. The last fight was so slow or like so quick that like no one could build else.
VP, I feel like this is a must-win fight because
you have to almost counter-aggress them. Like, break up their timings or like commit to a full defensive comp that requires very, very good positioning and like team play. They're just all in the brig, which actually, yeah, good job. So like right there, they went full defensive there, and you have to play it perfectly, and they played that very well. It looks like the strategy of, once again, because that was kind of the first time I've really got to see it, they just pick a character and they go right in. There's no like, it doesn't even feel like there's a rhyme or reason. I've seen them go on different targets. They just pick someone and they all in one, and then once they all in them, they win. That's their strategy. So VP was able to survive that and kind of like disrupt some of the other, plays there. So yeah, not bad.
Still question marks on the May, honestly. Obviously, you don't get your perks, you don't keep them round to round, so Jay would doesn't have that.
I think the May swap is fine here. You're basically just it's a full defensive comp. Double brig out. Probably gonna use the May out if need be here. Damn, maybe that's where the timing is like, because they have the May out there, and you just can use that right away to really disrupt it. Instead, VP plays it defensively. Do you see that? Like, and when I mean you can play defensively but also be proactive, it feels like that you just want to pop your May out there, right? The only thing I can think of is that maybe once again was just DMing fully on the May, and that delayed that, and that could be the reason. There's the camera right there you really couldn't see, you know what I mean? So
went off without really being noticed. Jay was still though looking to make something happen. Nothing. Yeah, Gravitic Flux doesn't catch anything. You see Shy just slide away. Overclock is active right now, and
Okay. Yeah, that's really good. Now VP can take it back. Take back map control. Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely hyper aggro. Oh, 100%. I agree. That's like their playstyle. The whole playstyle, no matter what tank they have in there, they're playing aggro. Yep. Loved what I just watched. Okay, so yeah, after seeing that, it's definitely on their side.
Dude, it's like it feels like VP's.
That was an encoding error.
There's still 3-14 on
Yep,
the
Rock.
clock. I mean, this is still a really difficult hold. They're going to have to.
It's a difficult hold, but if VP wins this team fight, you're going to be under 2 minutes on second with a good ult advantage. But VP needs to be careful because they're if they play too aggro here and anybody gets caught out, they're going to fall over. They do have Brig ult, so they can survive with that, right? But they don't want to get caught out with the Brig ult, things like that. So.
Rally here for Vixen means that Leave has to respect the backline, the disruption potential. Shy was hoping for a pick there on Shockwave, but close but no cigar.
Be a self-destruct here available for League A, so you'll be able to get a new mech back. Looks like VP on the retreat. A few players.
And you know what? Okay, so I think there is rhyme or reason to their strategy. I think they like to all in the Brig. That's what they do. Because that's like the third time I've seen them all in the Brig. I mean, this is like a trade. I don't know who wins this one just yet. It's because they can keep all in on the Sigma. Yep. Do you see that target focus, by the way, chat? That is what makes Once Again so good. I'm seeing it right now. It's their target focus. If they call a target, they're on that target. It does not matter what's going on, who's on them. They all in someone. And then they basically bet on the idea that they can literally all in and get a limbs every single time. Especially thanks to the 7 months with the Prime. So thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, I'm super sorry to hear that, Banshee. Super sorry to hear that.
They don't have to get that far, man.
No. And honestly, they made good progress already without there being a fight.
He's got this. He's got this.
Shy's time. He was the deadlock breaker in the previous round with a flank play off this overclock. He's looking for a target. This is a great one. Now, though, it's set up in a pretty nice spot. The blade for Leave.
Oh, I mean, I look at this chat. I mean, like, again.
Shockwave's done well, at least getting rid of Shy, but it's just still a lot of threat, a lot of pressure.
Like, what can you do there? They're so aggressive. Under Silver Lake, thanks to the Prime, so thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, they're gonna win this. I mean, honestly, with Once Again, the way they played right there was really good. Like, that was very aggressive. Like, that was a good job.
That is a statement win there from Once Again.
I mean, the problem that VP runs into right now is that they're being like aggressed on. And I think that's something that they're going to look at. Like, they're going to go back and watch the VODs because they're going to have to prepare for more matches, right? I think they're going to play today, if I'm correct. So, you know, they need to go and prepare and like look at like what's happening. They're just being aggressed on. Like, they're never like actually like setting the pace. They're getting the ones they're just constantly like. There's like team fights where VP should not lose a team fight, but because they play like not as aggro, Once Again just wins in like the overall brawl, and like that is the problem. Like, you can see it. Their target focus was unreal. So that's the adjustment VP will probably make, and then maybe in their next set of matches goes a lot better than that. So, all right, chat. Here we go. Map 1. Nightmare versus Team CC. Who's going to win it? Who's going to take it? Let's find out.
Versus Team CC. Kuffer running out with Hazard. Okay, Hazard versus Wrecking Ball Rose.
Okay, Hazard versus Wrecking Ball. That's a good. Okay.
For Lethal to switch to something later, but the fact
might be a diva swap.
You were prepared to see a Kaneki Farah come out with the rest of the team being able to support this Wrecking Ball dive. We'll see how you're able to actually get set up here as we see Kaneki trying to get a wrap behind the enemy team. Need to scout out these hazard walls and see if you can pick somebody off from the
I'm not an expert, chap. I don't think they're on the right team with the webcam right now. Unless this is Team CC is wearing a Nightmare jersey and it's the same player the whole time. No matter what role. Playing all 5 characters. Great. I'm glad the sound's already delayed again.
That's gonna fall first.
Yeah, first kill, Super Rich taking out Lethal. Okay, points.
Okay, let's see.
By Nightmare. Pineapple and Gaga want to set up for these dives, but it's still hard against the brick.
Man,
Pineapple, no
this is
there, goes pretty low.
a lot of scene swaps. Oh, look at that. See?
Lose the cat throws.
Can play any role.
On the board.
There isn't
Unreal.
staying power for them, and it's gonna have to be relying on these cooldowns to get back in. Kuffa's already so low, and he's going to start to run out of HP to work with.
Postman already for Pineapple here as well.
I think we've watched the same two players so far, but Team CC takes the first team fight. And there we go. They fixed it. They fixed the scene. Oh, never mind.
Team CC, they're not here to mess around.
No, I mean, take a look at how many picks Team CC are getting in the backline. There's no more DPS available here for Nightmare, and Team CC still have control of this point. As you see Kuffa start to make his way back, this is where Nightmare can really start to put
Okay, now it's fixed.
build up to these ultimates,
all right.
but it's been
Oh,
Team
wait.
CC that have
Okay, there we go. Now it's fixed.
Pineapple already throwing out that pulse bomb, but Farway's getting ready to go with this Kitsune rush.
Okay, here we go.
10% as well. Look at his backline presence here. Kaneki picks up a kill on Ultra.
Yeah, so far Team CC is playing this very, like, to give you an idea, chat, and like especially in like the pro setting, the comp that Team CC is playing can be so annoying to play against because you're just getting spammed and from every single angle. I like how on one of the players for Nightmare you just see the coach in the background just chilling. That was great. But Nightmare does take the point finally and kind of settles. Has decent ultimates here. I think Team CC has ultimates to take point, though. They're probably going to end up mining the point and then trying to, like, slowly take advantage of that over time. Lethal gets a huge kill right there. Ooh. Those are some lethal shots.
They're not here to mess around either. Lethal with a little triple.
You don't need ultimates if there's just
I'm gonna see if I can clean up some of this like delayed lag.
On TUCC back to spawn and having to rethink how they want to actually. The fact that Ultraviolet was able to hold on to that orbital ray.
See, look at the coach. Hey, what's going on? Everybody having a good time? There you go.
Lethal start to get set back up on the high ground with the Bob available as well.
Gaga's now behind enemy lines. He's going to try and come in onto Lethal. Coach going to available at 1%. Mines deployed on the point. Bob's going to be there to try and clear them out. An ult dump here from Nightmare. They also use the orbital ray. Team CC are going to try and just play them.
So yeah, that's what happened, by the way. Team CC ended up doing exactly that. They went to the... They tried to flip the point for a second, but then it kind of flipped, but then like Nightmare took it back, so it ended up being even. Zera's going to touch point, though, like last second, and then Kuffa will take over, and then now the Tracer will... Yeah, there you go. Very, very well played by Nightmare right here. Very well played.
Hard though for Kuffa to stay around, and well, Gaga has a triple boot on the hazard to get him off the point, and that will be that. Team CC recap.
But take a look at this.
Yeah, I mean, CC was going to be able to retake that, but that's why it was kind of impressive that Nightmare was able to hold it for a little bit longer. Team CC had a slight advantage. This is a good matchup. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a very good game.
To be able to come back in on the Sombra and actually build up to an EMP to try to finish out this map. They have a couple more ultimates to work with here as Zera can open up some space with something like the pulse bomb. It's a whiff and a miss though.
Yep. CC has no ultimates now. Nightmare is going to have a pulse bomb, which I mean, pulse bomb you can't really like bank on that getting kills. But I think Kuffa's ultimate maybe can combo with, actually, believe it or not, could be like a way to guarantee a kill if done correctly.
I mean, can they actually find enemy though? Look at Pineapple's positioning right now. It's going to be tough for him to...
Yep, there we go. Really good ult by Kuffa. Then they're able to follow up. Still ended up saving the pulse bomb too. So I think Nightmare might take the first round of this control. How many maps they play each match? Right now it's first to 2. When it gets to the loser bracket, it's first to 3. So we have one more upper bracket match after this, and then 2 loser brackets. So 4 total matches still. What we have right now. This is one of those matches. I want to say Nightmare should win this, unless Team CC plays this very slow and like builds up beat, and then Wrecking Ball boops one. I think the timings are going to go in favor of Nightmare. That's basically what happens. But, I mean, you can't ask for a closer first round, 99% to 99%. You know, couple second difference here and there, and that could be a different team fight too, so.
To be able to finish out that round. But how close was it at the end of the day?
Very, very good start.
See these 2 dive styles.
Nightmare had a slow start against that comp too. But able to take the first round and now going to Ruins. Not Ruins, I mean Well. And Well is... Well is not as good for the Wrecking Ball here, but isn't bad for the Wrecking Ball either. And I know that doesn't make any sense. It's like, it just is a little bit harder to get the map control that you can get on the other two. Emmanuel, thanks for the 25 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. So it's like you can't, Wrecking Ball like is okay on this map. Used to be a little bit better, like during, like where you could like take control with where you could take the control with the Farahs and kind of use like that like side of the map. But a lot of teams are to like take the, they call it like cage side over here, and the ball kind of can't get as much value in there. So it's like half of the map is really good for ball, and half of the map isn't.
And this is going to be the big problem. Lethal actually getting into a position
So,
where he can be effective in the fight.
And you'll see that.
Taking down this Farah, just poking at her to make sure she has to play scared. Not many crazy sightlines that aren't going to be
Really good pressure onto the Kiriko, getting TPL. They're going to get the point. The ball won't be able to stay for too long. They're just going to flip it for a second. Or not flip it, but give it to him, yep. And you can see that, too. Like, the ball is, like, trying to find as much value there and, like, it's taking a while to get there, but does end up getting a kill in the setup. So, right now, like, that side of the map is where Team CC will probably take more of their team fights because that's going to be more advantageous for them. That's why, like, the ball is not able to find those kills or, like, consistently get the value. They actually might flip here. Really good job. What's really going well right now for Team CC is they're also very patient. So they're not really, like, upset if they lose someone in a team fight. They're not like, okay, we got to reset right away. They definitely are doing a good job of, like, taking their time around the map and making it a little bit difficult on Nightmare. But Nightmare's done a really good job delaying points still. They haven't been able to find that kill. Like, they might finally get a reset here. No, Kappa touches point. So unless they're going to flip eventually. Nope, they don't. What a hold by Nightmare.
This is going to be 50% territory here for Nightmare as they still keep control. They force the pulse bomb out of Pineapple. Maybe
good morning, good morning. Hope you're all doing well.
Wow.
So what looked like it should have been a team fight in favor of Team CC, or at least a point flip, ended up just staying there. And Nightmare ends up just holding at the 70%.
I mean, you could keep it up with the downpour here. Just lock everybody down when you look at this in its last fight territory.
Orbital Ray from Ultraviolet to start us off. Bomb available in downpour 2.
Ooh.
Like instantly killed. Far away. Didn't know what happened. Didn't know what hit him. Pulse bomb available from Zera 2. The mines have hit the point. Same with the sound barrier, but here comes the downpour locking people in place. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. As Lethal just tears your head off. 10% to go now for Nightmare. They might just round this one out. 100-0. Bob for the backup. The ball is dead. And
Nightmare takes, I want to say Nightmare takes his first round for this first map.
100-0. One lifeline remaining.
But see, like, the 100-0 here is a little bit scuffed, and it's because of that hold. It's like, it's not like a dominant 100-0. It was a very well-earned 100-0. Like, it took a bit.
Nobody else from Team CC could touch. Gaga's trying his best, but looks like Nightmare gonna take it and the map.
There you go. Nightmare takes the first map.
100 to 99.
Nightmare takes the first map. Now, for the next 25 minutes of downtime, they'll have time to kind of talk about what they want to do and go from there. So,
need another one. You hit a vortex on the Winston.
Oh, is it starting?
Doesn't leave as many avenues for Gaga to really.
I think it's starting.
Although because there's no brick.
Finally.
It's going to be a little bit easier, I suppose. And of course, as we jump on Survasa, we will always get the pigeon cam.
We always have
finally happening. We're good.
Every single game. All right, Gaga, Winston, Kiriko,
it's time.
in the backline for Team CC, Ultraviolet on the Juno, cover, and Lethal actually.
Oh, we got the nice lag on the shots, even better.
But now Lethal's back in this. This is going to make Gaga.
Yeah, Ramatra makes sense here. Like Nightmare likes to play the Ramatra comp anyway, so this is normal. Team CC finally gets to play the Winston comp they want to play, so we'll see.
In this matchup, you're kind of prepared to see either the Winston or the Wrecking
No
Ball
Brig. There's the Cassidy from Nightmare.
And hopefully make it a little bit easier for the rest of your team to actually follow up on this. But I'm very excited to see how Zera and Kaneki fare against each other with a Tracer versus Tracer.
Yeah, bubble broken.
There was a pigeon? There was, wasn't there?
The point should be a fairly easy cap from Nightmare here. But look how forward Letha is playing too. He knows that Team CC has to
They're playing perks, yeah.
selves onto him
They are.
or onto
I gotta put
someone
my AC on after this game, regardless of the result.
Way harder to dive than something like an Ashe. You only have that one coach gun to actually get away, and Lethal gets a chance to play.
Yep, good start by Nightmare again. I mean, Team CC hasn't really had an opportunity to go into their backline yet. They're really close to Kitsune. The problem is they went a little bit too early, but they did get a kill on the Cassidy, so they must have saw a good opportunity there. Yep. Now they're going to be able to use their Kitsune. As long as they don't lose their Winston there, they should win that. Yep. God, can I fix this a little bit?
Really good setup there from Team CC to just play a little bit patient. Now they're going to be able to take control of this fire. Is able to capture 57% though. Quite a lot to be able to get away with when you know you
that's rough.
Come back into this one with ultimates.
Yes, they do play with perks. They play on the current patch.
Lethal, maybe help
yes.
push people back. You also are going to have
Nightmare does have
top of a sound barrier.
High Noon coming up. Maybe you can clear some space. They have beat. So there's the High Noon. They're doing that to try to create a little bit of space, but a really good dive by Gaga there. Gets the kill, and then they're able to go back to point, not give up the point. If they get one more kill, they're going to be able to take this.
It's not looking pretty. Especially with Pineapple.
That's a good Ramatra ult. I actually don't mind that. I think that's a correct play. Because like if you're gonna go for it, you have to go for it now. That's why that was a really good play by Nightmare. Yep, very well played. Well, you didn't need Lethal up there. You just needed to have him in a spot where they can't disengage. CC does have opportunity to go for this again, especially with Beat and Winston ult. And they probably will try to go for this. I don't normally like when both one of the teams gives up all their ults for this, but I think this is a situation where if Team CC wins this team fight, they probably win the middle point. And I think the other team is going to be forced to do that.
There it is. OT triggered. Zera in the backline. He's going to force a little.
Are they going to play the new season patch next week? Well, next week there's going to be a downtime. I think there'll be a little bit of a break in between matches just because, like, you know, this stuff just finished.
You just don't win these fights. A Raze sound barrier fight almost unlosable from Nightmare's perspective. There's only Gaga left.
Oh, wow. They almost flipped that for a second. But, yeah, I mean, that was exactly what we expected to happen. Team CC committed ultimates. Nightmare was forced to counter ult because, like, it's worth fighting for that. So the flip side for Team CC is you manage to bait out their ultimates, and now you have a decent, like, advantage one there. So as long as Nightmare doesn't get a good pulse bomb, then Team CC could win this. So...
to put into that last fight, but it was worth it to be able to get that first flashpoint of this map. Now that we go over to a smaller one, nice shot.
I mean, that might just be a back away and wait moment.
With the 5 seconds with the point unlock, like
they're gonna go to point trying to force an ult out. Yep.
I mean, the position goes over to CC.
Yeah, Kuffer's gonna take so much damage. I think it just ripped the rush.
That was the right play. Yeah, that was a great decision by. In my opinion, that was a great decision by. Nightmare because it forced out an ultimate, gave an opportunity for like a good disengage. They end up getting a kill, and now Team TC is gonna have to back up.
Because you see Kuffa already stepping under the plate, an annihilation in his pocket as he's earned
like that's that.
Able to get some punches in.
Yeah, gonna run it down as well. Pineapple, a little bit too close to the sun.
Not a bad ult. I mean, you're gonna get the kills. Could have maybe saved it, but I'm in the same boat. Like you play to win there. You'll build an ultimate quick enough anyway.
Yeah, it's just so tough. And now the fact that you actually saw Team CC back away from that. Again, Kuffa is one of those players that's taking advantage of them pressing the S key. Especially with something like this from Matra. You just go in, and you know that you've got this Juno and this Lucio behind you to also help speed
that Winston went really aggressive there. Team CC has nothing for a retake right now. That's the problem. Like, their ultimates are really, really, like... They're just going to get Sojourn ulted, like, very quickly once his bubble's dead. Yep. They get a kill on... They do get a huge kill, though. Problem is they're going to kill the Lucio on the outside of the map. Wow. Damn. Like, Team CC's picking up, like, occasional kills here and there. But, like, they're too late. You know what I mean?
I think it is, and if they can hold on to this sound barrier and maybe even this pulse bomb as well, it's going to set them up for success heading into potentially the third and final.
Why take large barrier on Ramatra over the shotgun perk? Because you're going against a Winston comp. You're not going to be able to do what like you would expect to do against that, so you go a longer shield. You go a longer shield to basically, you kind of use it as your own Winston bubble. It's good, even close to that, but it's going to be more effective. Yeah. Really good dive here. Of your team CC, what changes are you looking for them to go into this flashpoint? I mean, be aggressive. I think that's their problem is like they're aggressive, but they're not doing it at the same time. Remember how we watched once again when we were watching them play? They were very aggressive, right? They were constantly aggressive, but they were also aggressive together. Like when they got on a target, they all were on a target. And I think that's really the difference right now is they're doing a good job of trying to go in and set the pace, but like everybody needs to be a part of that. And when we watched once again earlier, and they played the Winston comp and they were doing this, they were on the same page. They were going in. All of that stuff. So, yep.
Do his thing and then just killing everybody else around him.
I mean, this is just a bad fight for Team CC to have lost. You saw 3-4.
Oh, my voice is fine. I mean, I'm just up early, and I
just use the sound barrier, and that's kind of it. They stopped them in their tracks, and now they're looking at potentially last fight territory.
I also talk a lot, sometimes I can lose my voice. So,
and Cuff has got another one.
So yeah, I'll take Monday off. You know? Did you feel like you would pick the shotgun perk to break the bubble? But like, the problem is I agree with that if I'm playing ranked. That is what I would normally do. But I think in this setting they're in right now, they're not really worried about the bubble because they know that the bubble will probably get killed regardless if they play to do that, or they're going to play it like together. So it makes sense to go with the shield. I like it for the bubble too, straight up. But, you know, you got to remember, like, that shield's also really good against Sojourn. So when Sojourn ults, but you got to give credit where credit's due here. I mean, Nightmare came to play, and it wasn't even close. With that first round, you're like, okay, we have a matchup. Like, after that, it wasn't even close. Yep. That was a quick match. All right, now they're going to spend the next hour setting up.
Very good.
I'm going to go put the AC on, chat. I'll be right back.
I know the home crowd is probably cheering for Team
Probably
CC.
2-3 minutes, all right? Hit the follow button if you haven't, and I'll be RB. What is this? This is a trailer? Oh, this is the, wait. This is the actual match. I didn't know if they were doing an Ilios trailer. Going into the vault to show when they were doing Ilios for the first time. All right, here we go.
Wrecking Ball is one of Junbin's best heroes. So
yep. One of the best, if not the best, heroes for him.
Junbin to go in the direction of being able to go for the Wrecking Ball. But on the other side of things, Seeker going to opt to try to
we got the Diva. Diva, Somber, Tracer, Kiriko, Lucio. This is a very mobile comp. So the only hero they're probably going to look for is an out-of-position Sombra or a Lucio. Those are your two dive targets. And maybe try to force out Kiriko. Yep. Kellen did a good job there going backline pressure.
Seeker goes down first, though. Lip chasing him. However, they do end up trading for Charon.
Had a good trade on the backline there. They're going to give up the points, so they got to guarantee they win this. Otherwise, it's going to be rough. Actually, Space Station's able to kill both of the backline support. The problem is that I don't think they can survive the team fight, and especially with the Wrecking Ball. Yeah. Not, you know what though? I will say that wasn't like a bad play by Space Station. It's just CR is really good.
Junbin actually gets hacked out here, and this is where you can see the power of this Sombra. Seeker, though,
not right now, Tessie.
Have a pretty tough go of things. Not only are you trying to target down this Wrecking Ball, but you also need to make sure that you can keep yourself a part of the equation of these team fights.
Yeah.
You have to act a lot quicker now as the Sombra. Like I said, that limited invincibility.
Well, I'm saying, like, that's why Sombra becomes a dive target, because if you're out of position, like, they're going to see you. Right? So you need to make sure you're in a good spot for it.
And already actually spotted out on the high ground, so not too much longer can Seeker stay around, attempted to hack there, but Junbin,
I wonder, like,
50 miles away from him.
When they went for this exact,
just a swing and a miss there, a little bit of damage on
like with the hero bans, I think that's why CR probably banned Wrecking Ball, right? Actually, no, did Space Station get the first pick? Or did CR? CR did, yeah. So CR was able to ban and like a protection ban. So Space Station's forced on this comp, and then they also like, yeah. So that was a good one. Is there a bracket somewhere? Yeah, on the Overwatch Esports website.
Crazy Raccoon are not giving them a single inch to work with.
no breathing room for Space Station Gaming, and in fact, Crazy Raccoon are actually going to take the fight to them. With these Wrecking Mines available from Junbin, that's one way that you can just kind of layer them onto the main and make it so much easier for Hiimishie to get an angle.
I mean, look at CR's ult chat. Yeah, Bliss goes down there. They don't even have the EMP yet. They're going to get it now, but it's going to be too late. I mean, you have to EMP it, right? Like, it doesn't... Yeah. Rough first round. I mean, the problem is that, like, it's basically like CR is basically dictating everything.
Not super surprised.
Like, dictating everything the whole time.
I'm a bit surprised that Space Station didn't have a bit more say in a lot of.
Do they allow custom skins here, or are they OWCS branded only? Probably for the tournament specifically, OWCS branded only. My guess is they're probably not even letting the players log in from their accounts. They have to like have accounts made for them because it's probably a tournament server. I think this is the one time they'll use like tournament clients at LAN. So like you're not normally you would just log in and play whatever. So they probably just don't have them, so they just give everybody default skins, and it makes it a little bit easier for like the finals, right? So that mean that CR is dictating the timers? It just means that CR is always being aggressive, so Space Station never has time to settle. And like Space Station's comp needs like an extra second to settle, so you can set up your Sombra and Tracer for the play. But if your backline and your team's constantly being pressured, you can never actually do that, and that's where they're running into the issue.
You're expecting dives to come in.
Yeah.
I love the whip. I just like the shield bash or even the whip shot to be able to deal with the Tracer or the Sombra. I think there's a lot of reasons why this break would give you a little bit more utility in this particular matchup. Look at Junbin getting hacked though, does have to play a little bit more careful, but you can tell that's kind of the game plan here for Space Station is make Junbin's life very difficult.
Yeah, Junbin do be balling right now. I mean,
yeah, but like the problem is that you can't. What Junbin's doing is basically waiting to engage every single time, and because that's happening, like there's no like clear. There's like no clear path for Space Station to get a kill on ball. So if you spend the whole time trying to counter the Wrecking Ball, you're just not going to get anything going. Like it just ain't going to happen, right? So that's why like now they're starting to swap up their comp a little bit. Maybe go like, you know, it's just you're waiting on Junbin to basically fall into getting hacked, but that's going to be really difficult to do. Like look at these spots. Like okay, you hack Wrecking Ball now, but like ball's out. Even then, the Wrecking Ball didn't even get hacked.
He's having a tough time
so,
as well, Rose. Like you said in that last round, tough for him to stay in and then actually get that EMP. Only got it online at the very last moment. He's 47% on EMP right now. Good whip shot actually from Chong. That's stopping Kellen with a dive.
There's still time for Seeker to be able to get this EMP online, but I think it's like
a
lot of this coordination from Space Station to actually win a team fight here.
He's dead.
Wait a second. Is there a chance?
To strike. Oh, well, they got two Tracers
now. Is there a chance to get the point for a little bit? I mean, sticking a pulse bomb on a hazard basically is like killing hazard.
He's got mines in a couple of moments. They didn't even let the point go.
Yeah, they don't let the point go because they don't have to do anything because nothing's happening prior to that. They don't have the ultimates to be able to deal with it. So like it's.
There's no chance you win this fight, not against that rally, and we are looking at final fight territory.
I mean, they're just spending a lot of time trying to shut down Junbin, and like CR is just so used to that at this point. You know what I mean? Like this is not the first time they've seen a team go Sombra to try to stop the ball. Straight up. So they know how to play around it. They have experience in this. Good pick. Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
Nano deploys it onto Hiimishie. Seeker has got the CMP, but he needs to touch. He needs to.
I think they want to save the EMP, but yeah, I was gonna say like.
They end up hacking Junbin, but he was already on the high ground.
Yep.
Seeker ends up falling. A good sleep onto Kellen, and now still Space Station Gaming need to find another pick for this to be worth it. The EMP found basically nothing, but Kellen actually settles the score. Chorong falls down to the Mantis Blades.
Good out by Kellen, good survivability. This actually could turn into a possibility. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen here. I assume that Space Station should finally get the point for a little bit, but they just don't have anything to like CR's about to have both DPS ults. And maybe if Space Station can build their support ult sometime, but there's a very small time in here. Very small time in. For CR to go in, if Space Station can build their support ult here, it'll be huge. Really good cleanse by CJ. Probably going to just go in an aggressive beat.
with the pulse bomb. Like they want to try and force this one out of him before they try any
Good trade.
step into this.
Killing the honor there. Flying Kiwi, thanks for the 31 months to the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Still in this fight. Sugarfree with no recall and no blinks left to his name is getting chased by Junbin. 3-man sound barrier.
This is rough because I feel like they're playing it so safe.
And look at this. They've just walked
Yep.
him in. Someone help my mans. Kellen is super low, just forced.
Look at that, they weren't even able to use their ults.
Downpour as well, straight on top of your head. Heisang just does it better as Crazy Raccoon.
And CJ can use Kitsune from spawn.
Flip, and it looks like they're gonna get the map as well as the round expires.
That's that.
And Crazy Raccoon.
Well, now that we got the Overwatch gameplay out of the way, chat, we're back to a quick break here. We're gonna see.
46% on that second round, but
I gotta take 30 minutes. They're gonna take a quick break in between the map here. Take some time. I mean, that was, you know, listen, Space Station had a strategy. It didn't go as planned. Here's the good news for SSG. Like, they can kind of control the bans now, which will at least allow for them to be able to, you know, it's going to allow for them to at least ban Wrecking Ball. And that's what I would say to do here, because I think that they need to focus a bit more on, like, their, just what play to their strengths, not try to play to how can we prevent the strengths of CR, because the problem is that they play against that Sombra comp before. We've seen it before. Like, they're used to it. So now, if you're SSG, I don't think you, unless you want to go to a different map, I say you just ban Wrecking Ball and just play the odds of that CR is going to be a little bit worse on a Wrecking Ball on not a Wrecking Ball comp.
unfortunately, yeah, I think she was going to play Kiriko.
What's the current score? 1-0 CR. And it's first to 2, and then next up after this would be a loser bracket quarterfinals, first to 3. So even more so, and even more breaks can happen.
And it just makes sure that you're not going to be the one that gets dove first. I think that was something that we did see on Ilios.
Yeah, Winston. So maybe, yeah. So that's probably why they didn't ban. They didn't ban Wrecking Ball, is they already had like data that like CR doesn't want to run Wrecking Ball on this map anyway. So they just didn't. They didn't waste a ban on Wrecking Ball in case they win this match. Only problem I see happening is they're just getting outdove. Sugar Free does trade there, so that should put him in a 3v3. The problem is I feel like with the, yeah, I was gonna say it was gonna be a rough grind. It's still leaning a little bit towards CR right now, even though Sugar Free got those pictures because they had the a little bit, I don't know, kind of even, but not really.
These Winston bubbles, but there's so much pressure from Crazy Raccoon to try to burst those and get that.
He's saying he doesn't have a lot of blinks left, so you just take it slow. Yeah, they're in the neutral.
There's the jump onto the high ground, attempted boot from Bliss. Doesn't stop jumping, getting up there.
Wow, he's saying his post bomb already and sticks Kellen.
Kellen just, yep.
Good as well, jumps straight over the top and live out a railgun with his name on it.
I mean, good play by Seeker. CJ gets out, might get killed though. Trades are going very heavily in favor of CR for now. I mean, the good news for Space Station is they did trade out enough to where this could end up being good plays. Sugar Free misses the pulse there, but I mean, it was worth the attempt there. Junbin's dead. So, yeah, Space Station did a really good job there. Those trades alone were really solid. Like, really solid. And they're going to get a kill on Shu now. And this is going to be... Space Station's going to take an early lead. Doesn't mean too much this early in the game. But good job by Space Station. Good trades, good play. Now it's on Space Station just to be the aggressor here. Be the team setting the tone. But, like, Junbin ain't going to let that happen. Already going to dive in right away. You'll see. Plus, he's really close to ult. So is Kellen. Kitsune's from both teams in a second, and then maybe a Winston ult after. Yep, there's the counter. Although I'm not sure Space Station... Oh, no, this will be tough to say. I think it's not bad by both teams to over-ult here. I just think that Space Station is down a Sojourn, so it's like... You lose a lot of value there without your Sojourn, but if your plan is to basically trade out some ultimates to get into a more predictable ult-like phase, then I think that's okay, right? I can't question that type of decision-making there. I think that's fine. If you're, like, you got all your ultimates, you now have an even Sojourn ult. I mean, Lip can go first for a second. Kind of does it in a non-advantageous spot, but Kellen is out of position. Yep.
Wants to get back to the rest of his team.
The problem was Kellen was just way out of position, so the ultimate just ended up being a free kill, and that's enough to just fall back.
Well, they're going to try and push all the...
Well, they're going to try to push up because they want to get the checkpoint now, and I think they're going to successfully do that. Unless Seeker gets aggressive here early. Okay, they're setting Sugar Free up the touch before they get checkpoint. So they're actually going to get Kellen the jump point. Now they're going to go with Sojourner. Yep, there it is. Nice shots by Seeker. That's 3. And honestly, I think there's a chance they get the checkpoint here. So really good job there by Space Station. I don't think Sierra's going to give it to him. I think Sierra's going to engage before the choke. Yep. They don't want to give him the checkpoint for free. Yep. I mean, Jimmy just walked in bottom right. Maybe go for a pulse bomb stick. I mean, I don't know if it... I mean...
Really tough spot for the Tracer to be in it.
Seeker again. That should enable them to at least... Yeah, I think they're going to get the checkpoint. Yep. That checkpoint is huge. He's saying he's going to pop up immediately, but now... Very interesting spot. Does John XL play? I think he plays, like, ranked a lot now. I think he's like, streaming. I think on, like, YouTube or something, right? Because...
Yeah, Jumbin's now trapped on the wrong side of the team fight. Force a recall of Heesang, so this could be easy.
Seeker again. Seeker's getting some really early picks. And like CR is gonna go in here, and they pop their own rush. The only problem here, and this is where SSG needs to be careful, this rotation out needs to be perfect. Because okay. They're gonna put Sugar Free on the bot to take the bot away, or actually they put Bliss on the bot, and now Bliss can rotate out. So a good reaction there by Space Station, and they were able to push it 69 meters. That's pretty damn nice if you ask me. Space Station's gonna be able to engage them in the middle, and then I think they're gonna try to block the checkpoint here initially, just in case.
Still 4 minutes and 40 seconds to play around with. And Juma's got Primal Rage. We've got Sound Barrier as well here from Chorong, and he's saying with a Pulse Bomb.
I don't mind this beat engage. I don't mind this. They get a counter out. Both Winstons are going to be able to counter ult each other, so you don't have to worry about that. Huge pick right away. Junbin has ult, going to force that out. He's saying trades on Winston, though, so that's not going to be as ideal. Seeker pops ult, though. Dude, they are all in on him. What a play by CR. Sugar Free does trade out on Shu.
Eventually, Crazy Raccoon will win it, but they are
and then dies on the bot. So
in terms of meterage right now.
Space Station
Gaming managed to reconvene here. They
might be able to get to the bot because Shu was killed early there, which means Chorong is probably backing away to get Shu. So you have a time in here.
Unfortunately, there just isn't a touch that can come through. Space Station Gaming know that they've
got Lip's going to be aggro with Sojourn Ultimate here very quickly. I don't know where they're going to take the approach just yet, but it will happen. He's going to wide peek out with it. There it is.
Look at how far back they're able to push Space Station.
You have to give the lead.
Easy space creation tool there for Lip. I mean, Kellen had nothing to say in that.
Pretty much as textbook as it gets. It's as textbook as it gets.
Going to get their faces ripped. And Crazy Raccoon, they're taking the lead, Rose.
Taking the lead and might even be able to extend that now. With this Kitsune rush from Shu, they're going to be able to play around the straightaway. CJ is a couple of percentage away, but look at the wraparound.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna both pop the ults on each other. It's not a bad flank by Space Station. It caught him off by surprise a little bit. So, only issue here is they cannot be traded out on. They need to make sure they don't get traded out on. They could lose maybe one. Sugar Free is fine to get picked off there. That's like that is best case scenario if you're gonna get traded out on, because Tracer can get back quickly. Even more so now with the health pack perk, where you can just like grab a health pack on the way to get an extra blink.
Starting to work up to a potential win condition. Sugar Free still has this pulse bomb. You can also see that the sound barrier is starting to come up.
If Space Station wins this team fight cleanly, they take the lead.
In terms of those ultimate utilities, then it's like again it comes down to Seeker.
They take the lead if they do that, but they have to win this cleanly. Cleanly.
Seeker's been able to do that for a couple of team fights now, but it's got to start racking it up here.
Soundbar is available from both Lucios right now with Seeker, public enemy #1. Both beats hit. Kellen didn't receive the sound barrier though. Should be the focus fire right now.
Oh no. I would not consider that cleanly. What a pulse bomb.
And 96 meters is looking oh so juicy for Crazy Raccoon now. He's saying
Oh, no.
Sweet revenge.
And by the way, I think Space Station has played much better and is looking pretty good right now. CR is not an easy team to have a close push match against. They're not. It's not. So.
Really coming down to the wire here. Space Station have zero room for error. Not again. Back in this territory.
Oh, this might be a Lucio kill. Oh no. What a play.
Kills Bliss. They're going to extend their lead a little bit further. This deep primal rage, and he's still going too. What are you doing here?
Wow.
Not on my watch.
Meanwhile, when I Winston, I just lose everybody, and that's that. Kellen popped out. I think they're starting to over out now and try to make plays happen. And that's how you fall behind. Yep, that's that.
Nice to see you. There's a minute now.
Yeah.
This proactive play from Crazy Raccoon, this probably nets them the series.
I would say it does.
Like it, especially because Lip is going to just sit with the spawn room doors in his sights with the overclock ready to go. And how does Space Station have to get out of spawn?
What is Blood doing in the spawn? Jumpin is literally touching the spawn doors right now.
Actually touching the spawn doors.
On this straight away, but 126 meters and counting for Crazy Raccoon. There's a couple of rushes being thrown out here, but Space Station Gaming need an absolute miracle and then more to try and find the win. Kellen super low, Seeker dead. I mean, the post bomb goes a little bit wide, but honestly,
a little bit wide.
Might be all for naught. The bot in control.
I think that might be a chat. It was a really good matchup for like Space Station was playing this very, very well for like 8 minutes. Like if this was a quick play timer, this would it was looking really good, but the last 2 minutes have been really rough for Space Station, and that's why they're on their back foot.
Bliss is 20% away. Beat comes in, it hits 4, Seek it down, Primal Rage to boot. I mean, this is a full cap from Crazy Raccoon.
Unless Sugar Free hits a pulse bomb.
About it. I mean, Bliss, he's got beaten too. Can he actually get it off? That's the question. He's in the
That's a good beat.
Jumpin is pushing them back in with the Primal Rage.
But they still trade out on Winston.
Crazy
I just don't think there's a yeah.
Falling over Space Station on honestly what will look a fairly competitive game from them. A very early lead garnered, but it is all Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, and there it is.
Well, it always is.
And good news, chat. Don't get too excited, but guess what? We have another match coming up after this, so we got about another 45 minutes to an hour of downtime with some quick breaks.
With a full cap.
All right, here we go. I'm ready.
But it's a far cry from really doing it. We're gonna jump.
They actually went in fairly quickly.
Okay. Lucio banned from Virtus Pro coming out first, and Genji banned from AwCrap.
A high rate of play here on the point. Shockwave instantly drops Hawk.
Instant pick right away. That was actually pretty quick.
Unlikely, but AwCrap continuing to fight this one out. 3-on-3, I think Vestola's presence on the point, Gala able to heal him up. Should make this a fight win for Virtus Pro, but Katsia still have something to say about it. Still going to keep a bit of map control and keep this one at least potentially in contest as the spawners return to the fight.
Yeah, they're looking for someone.
Pretty good start. This is actually a good idea to go and like kill the Brig since they had map control and then go back in after. That was a really smart play. That was very, very smart. Because now they can basically retake it and they know they have a Brig advantage. But it's also a really good job by Vestola to recognize that and all in and then back away. So, like, they're going to trade Brig and they're probably going to give up the point, but now they'll have a Brig advantage, and they have to make sure the same thing doesn't happen. They have to make sure the same thing doesn't happen. Yep. And then VP does the same thing, but they didn't trade, so VP gets the point, and a very wild start to the match, but a good start. But a good start, so.
Checkmate. Going to swap over to the Pharah here now. Katsia throughout the rest of this round. Probably going more poke heavy. Looking at the capitalize.
I mean, going poke heavy makes sense, though.
Yeah, and that support ult advantage here for Virtus Pro sets them up well for this fight as well. The annihilation from Vestola, something you really got to be worried about for Katsia as they try to bridge the gap on these crucial ultimates. But every second that passes is a second that Virtus Pro are going to be happy about, just racking up capture time.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're going to delay it here. You have no problem doing that. If they want to poke you out, then, like, eventually you just go main on them. But Labda gets a huge pick on the Shockwave, so that's going to give an opportunity here for basically a counter to happen at some point, but we'll see. Nope, after this match, it will be just a way to get these drops. But I think the tier skip ones are done. Yes, one of the EU teams is getting eliminated, yes. EMEA teams it is. A lot of ults here. I actually don't know who's going to win this because it's so wild of a team fight. I think it's going to come down to the Sojourn ultimates. There isn't a pick right now. It's going to come down to the Sojourn ults. Labda has a slight advantage on the timer. Yep, there it is. So, I mean, the good news for VP is that they didn't have to... Like, they'll still have their Sojourn ultimate too, so that, like, if... It's going to come down to if they can survive the Sojourn ultimate or not. So, we'll see.
With an overclock here, so... JWoo swapping over to the forest, while also matching AwCraps.
What have you missed? Just some good match.
A lot of percentage on Virtus Pro here now. And with a
you need 10 minutes for the rest of them? Aw, damn, yeah. I mean, they were a short time because they have a lot of stuff coming up with the drops right now, so that's why it's like that. I mean, Sojourn Ultimate's really good. I mean, they're going to back away on it, obviously, when they do that, so I think, like, if VP waits too long, I think Checkmate can go for a really good Pharah ultimate. There's like a slight time in here that goes in favor if they use the Sojourn correctly, but Checkmate's going to have ult. Yeah, Shockwave played this a little bit slower than I expected, and they survived it. Now Checkmate has the barrage. I think this is where they have to go for the trade. You either go for the trade or you commit to waiting. I was gonna say, if you have the perk there, it makes more sense. Oh, and they flip the map. That should give VP the round. Yep. Even if it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I think it was the round even before they got landed.
Can anyone get the touch here? Someone should be able to get the touch here, I feel like. Tread is going for it on the Diva. Boom, still. Yeah, nice block.
Yeah, I mean, good job touching the point, but I think it's just a matter of delaying until the next match, or next map, or next round. Not map, because that would mean the map was over.
Coming back into the round. Nice retake from Virtus Pro, some good stabilizations, and it's going to secure them.
Yep. I mean, it really came down to one team fight. I think if Checkmate has a better ultimate there, then that ends up going in favor, like, the other way. So it's, like, a really good first round. Very exciting first round at that, too. At least that's how it looked to me.
Painful start indeed, and you really need Labda to fire on all those cylinders. You showed.
I mean, Labda made a really good play. It's
just take over the game, and
you know, it was a wild team fight to begin with.
Kind of compositions, but still, Labda's been on fire so far this tournament. Needs to turn it up big time against Shockwave, JWoo.
Yeah, definitely wants to step it up because
this
is the big match. You know,
we're seeing the venture come out from JWoo here. Interesting choice. Yeah, it is powerful here. But does kind of put a lot of pressure on the opening initiation.
It can. Okay, here we go. So you're seeing the Venture comp, as just mentioned. Like, Venture comp is a very aggressive all-in approach. And it actually does exactly what it's supposed to do against a sim comp. Basically, just disrupt the TP play, disrupt any of the setup time, and then go in and get kills. Yep. Really good start for VP. Like, really good start.
We have been seeing in the EMEA. Just unrelenting aggression from both teams.
Yep, I mean, that was very aggressive. That is not wrong. That is not wrong.
Checkmate on the Pharah, on this off angle, so landing some nice rockets, but
yeah, Venture's played by a few teams. It's very rare, but it's generally to do exactly what we saw, to break up a sim comp or, like, start off strong on, like, a map like this. You know, a control center, very, you know, King's Row style point, I guess you could say.
Takes pressure. Labda as well, feeling the threat. And VP, they strike. Fixa finds Haku with that boop into the wall from the break.
There it is.
Now JWoo fighting on the point. Fixa finds another into Tread. And so far, this unrelenting aggression from Virtus Pro, we talked about.
Yeah, it's just a really good aggressive play. I mean, technically, I think AQ has made the correct swap, but they need to win a team fight prior, and the problem is they're not able to pick up that team fight right now, and that's what's going on. It's like,
everything down, a lot of mitigation to be done with
we'll see.
As well, and it kind of favors Virtus Pro so far. Very comfortable in this kind of pace.
Yep.
Wide swing from Checkmate, again trying to get that poke, but Mistola has this annihilation. looking ready to unleash it at any moment.
Yeah, the formation totally split here from Katsia on the walk-up. Nastola is going to rip the Annihilation. Landon, orbital rate of counter.
Still a really good like play by AQ here. I think they're going to be able to all in and get a kill. The Pharah ult is going to be, again, it really comes down to, like, I feel like the Pharah ultimate's kind of been, like, the main issue so far, right?
Just a couple of stragglers here.
Is, like, it's not even, like, it's bad. It's just you need to get the value there to be able to make up for, like, what's happening. And if you get the ult there, that's been the make or break. Like, if they get the Pharah ultimate there, they cap it with, like, 70%. And now they are in a much better spot to at least have multiple team fights to win. Instead, they just don't get any value. They lose the team fight, and then now here they are, right? So that's kind of the problem they're running into. There's a new set of drops each day for OWCS. So they're gonna let the map flip because why not, right? There's a use. That was a usage of the Juno perk right there. I mean, they might be able to tap point one more time, but I think that's going to be the first map. Look good on the first round. Not so much on this one. Yep.
They felt incredibly comfortable, and considering, of course, that we saw a lot of MAUGA being
first map, but it is first to 3.
Keep
that in mind. It is first to 3, chat. So plenty of time. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0. I actually don't. I think this will be a much closer matchup. I'm sure we're probably going to see like a Suravasa, and then they'll. I'm going to be honest with you, chat. Do not be surprised to see a Suravasa, and instead of banning like what we think they'll ban, they'll end up banning a like they'll probably ban Venture or something, so they can run their sim play. Because then if you ban Venture, you also protect your sim play, and you can try that strategy without having to worry about that. That might be what happens. And then you just go to like a Suravasa.
I feel like more recently we have. Okay, this is beautiful.
Okay.
So I was asking in the pre-show as well. Are we going to see the signature hero?
It's time.
I know where
this is why Pistola's smiling.
Yeah.
He's like, give me this.
The match is starting. That was an okay turnaround on time, and it wasn't like the best, it wasn't the worst, right? Okay. Here we go. Sigma versus MAUGA. Interesting start. I think the Sigma comp going this way might be. I don't know actually.
They are not going to let the Alari or Bab sit back there.
Yeah, I mean the key is for Katsia is not pulling the trigger too early. They can't get rid of it. Here they come, charging right past the tank into the back line.
Yeah, but the problem is they're set up for this. Labda does get the pick though, so it worked, and they got the point. Actually, no one got the point yet. It's capturable now. Yeah, VP game plan for that whole play. They just sat there and waited and waited and waited and waited, and then eventually just grinded them down. Yep.
Committing hard there, but yeah,
that was interesting. Like once they got the first pick, I think they should have just regrouped, got healed up, and then went in. Right? That was, but like, that was very well played by VP. Like that was like they completely like set up for that. That was well played.
Should be able to threaten that back line. Batiste and the Alari. Still that Nemesis form. Quite good against Sigma here, of course, but it's going to be a bit tricky here for AwCrap to maneuver all this poke damage coming in from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, the thing is, even if you know, your initial rush does find a kill, there are so many threats across the board on VP. Katsia are walking up onto the point though. Pistola.
Well, that's why you just need to reset and like go again, because that was the problem they ran into. So
suppressing that backline a little bit, forcing some kills out, and they're starting to cap the point here.
Yeah.
And right in front of
yeah, as a window, that's pretty much a reset. I mean, truthfully, if you're AQ in this situation, you might just want to set up for like a scuff touch with the idea that you're not going to ult. And they already swap off MAUGA to go Sigma. I think that's probably what they'll end up doing. Like maybe get a scuff touch or just kind of like play it in the middle and hope for the best. If you scuff touch, you get ults out. The VP has no ults. The window was the only ult they had to worry about. So playing it safe. See where the next point leads to, which based off where they're going seems to be to the left over here, and then hope for the best.
And then you have to follow up on that pick. Because otherwise you just get
VP's going to have a Sigma ult advantage, but overall the ults are pretty much close to even. You're going to have a double support out for AQ, and you just have a difference in Sigma ultimate time. And so if AQ wants to, they can be really aggressive with Sojourn ultimate here. I think they're concerned about what ults that VP have. They don't know what they have, so they didn't know they had a time in here. Right? You assume they already have those ults to begin with. They have an Ayari ultimate to start. Here you go. And they get the Pharah ult kill. Do trade, but they lose the ability to use beat here. So if they go in here, they're gonna have to be very aggro, and yeah, Vistola is able to counter and absolutely pop off. And that's what ended up being the issue there. Again, was yeah, they just aren't able to pick up a team fight with. Straight up.
So comfortable on these slower heroes, right? Because
how long is left to day one? Still a whole nother set of like one more match after this completely, but this is first of 3, so this has at least one more map. The Bob here is going to be the issue too. Is like I think AQ is going to lead in with Beat Blade, but then you can Bob to kind of like slow down that play. It's not like a guarantee that you win that play, but you can certainly slow it down. You know. Yeah, there's the Beat Blade. Bob is already out. They do get a kill. So the Beat Blade does manage to get a kill. The Bob is still on point, which is what we expected. Kind of slows down their ability. Really good trades up front here. Vistola's done a great job rotating out, too. He's constantly in the correct spot. Like, Vistola should not have gotten a kill there. But I think maybe with the perk there, got the kill. And look at that. Even when they have an advantageous, like, ult situation, AQ is still losing team fights. And that's where that's the problem. Like, those are the team fights you just need to take. Like, when you have them, you just take those dubs. And they're not taking the dubs.
Fixa has been playing so well. I think he's deadless in this map. I just haven't seen him go down. He's always juking the aggression. The Baptiste has been played to perfection, and AwCrap has really backed off. I mean, they came into this map with all-out aggression, extreme, dive in, and after one really
it's going to have to be a reverse sweep by AQ. They have no ultimates. They're making a swap over to Ramatra, which I actually think is a pretty good swap against the Sigma. Vistola's done a really good job of playing defensive, but like, eventually, there's just ways that you can play defensive, and that against Ramatra is one of them. And you can play defensive, but you really need to back away. So, and that becomes more of the issue they run into.
Going to get a bit of a point touch going here. AwCrap has decent off angles though, but JWoo.
And a huge pick again. Like just VP has been playing so well, and it's so interesting because we just watched VP get absolutely annihilated. And then we watched AQ play really well against Falcons. And then here we are, and VP is just stomping again. It's almost like they just play against them so much that they know how to play against them. Right? Like, they're just so, like... Yeah.
This is a different team, man. Virtus Pro, they looked outclassed against once again.
Vistola's a very good tank player. Very, very good tank player.
This form we're seeing from Virtus Pro, no, don't like them at all. Now, this is them on top. They're looking dominant.
Okay. And then, what do we got here?
If Bro can't do it, nobody can. Labda, this is his moment. Needs to find more. Gala is going to rip that Captain's son.
I don't even know if they got anybody with that ultimate. I don't think so. AQ is now going that. Yep. So AQ's comp now is basically an all-in on Sigma. That's the whole idea behind the comp. Is basically that Sigma's not going to be able to play, this really defensive play style as much. That Bob is going to be huge. That's going to cut off half the team, and if they don't get a kill here on the Sigma, it's going to be really bad. Yep. Yeah, VP's playing it very well because, like, on paper, AQ's comp is really good here. Straight up. But they've done such a good job with their rotations that what seems to be an easy kill on a Sigma is not happening. Not happening at all. So, yep. That's where we're seeing a bit of issue at times. So
they're gonna push up with another window, Jake. AwCrap is gonna have a hard time touching this point.
They could window the spawn here if they want.
VPS window, you just window when you get a chance here, and then go from there. Right, like, I think that's probably gonna be the play.
Benefiting from that double damage, just pouring it on, and they can't even touch.
Damn. Yeah, they weren't gonna be able to go there anyway. Another really quick game. Holy crap!
This is over, man. This is over.
Matches are quick.
It's not over. If anyone is confused in the
chat.
It's
okay, but holy crap!
First to three.
Yeah, right. Oh, Juno Brig is also available.
Juno Brig and Juno Lucio.
Gonna be too powerful of a support line to ignore here.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem I'm sensing here, though, and we're seeing as these teams go out of spawn, is that Virtus Pro, incredibly confident playing the Brig Juno. I don't think AwCrap want to mirror that backline, knowing how...
Yeah, of course, I'm having fun.
In that. So AwCrap instead, they're going to play the Lucio Juno with the Diva Torb and Soch. This is eerily similar to what we saw them play against Falcons when they had so much
Yep.
success.
Yeah, Ziad's going to come in on the Diva. Maybe be the change of pace that they need. Checkmate on the Torb could put out a lot of spam damage, but I feel Fix can have so much.
So you have the Diva versus the Ramatra. This is an interesting matchup. You're going to have to be really aggro in this. Yep, and it's funny, as you see that, they just go in. Now, Vistola's going to sit here on card. Shockwave actually gets multiple kills. So they're going to probably go for the Genji next, but Vistola's actually done a really good job of kind of just staying very statue-y on point. Which normally can be tough.
Labda gets caught a little bit, but slides away.
Yep.
It's a bit of an even fight here in the end. Not going to get a lot of push from this. You don't want to die late, though. So...
I mean, that wasn't really like on Vistola. That was just kind of like they weren't killing Vistola.
I mean, Juno going down first.
This tournament's in China right now.
Juno break. That really shouldn't happen in this comp. But now Labda has a bit of space to work with. We've seen what he can do on this Sojourn. Ziad.
Not bad.
Follow up there. And this guy's just come off the bench. He's hot, though.
Labda needs to come online on this map for AwCrap. They need any momentum they can get. And Ziad, with the aggression, you know, you're just seeing him scouting these close corners.
Stay on point. Have the Diva tap point for now because Diva can get away. Torb is set up on the bridge. I mean, they might be able to snag the checkpoint. Nope. They do flip here. The concern here will be if they all in on Labda here, right? That's a really good rotate. That was a great rotation right there. Briggs dead too, guaranteed. Yeah. Nice shot.
Maybe won't would love to stabilize that for the next fight. And
yep.
I don't think he's going to be able to get the trade. AwCrap dancing immaculately well.
Very good job here. Much better play by AQ here. They're going to get the checkpoint. Vistola's going to spawn up now because you get the advantage there. They're going to get around the corner too, and this is the part that's the timing on this was actually almost perfect for AQ.
60% to orbital ray. Where's your ult, bro? Landon has
not a good time.
Big backblink here from Labda. The pace has been
I don't mind this play by Labda. Flanking behind, at the very worst, you're going to get a bunch of map control in space. Nice shot by Labda there. The counter beat. All in on the Brig if need be. Really good blade time in here.
It costs everything from Virtus Pro,
but
they get the job done.
Still, though, 81.5 meters for AwCrap. Just 3 minutes.
I mean, both teams use a ton of ultimates there. So VP is going to have a bit of a Juno ult advantage, but AQ can kind of use Checkmate's Torb ultimate as like a defensive, like, reaction to that. So what you would do here, right, chat, is you have the Torb basically just pop the ultimate and then use it there, right? Like, just use that as a defensive ult if they try to get aggressive with Juno.
Much more powerful, much more potent situation to be in.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're getting out on the map this way, but the cart is rolling, and I think VP are kind of happy to play the slow game.
You'll see the contest. Good spot for a molten core here.
Zoning players away.
Okay, here we go.
Orbital ray comes over the top. Virtus Pro.
Yep, and that's what they did. They actually did counter with that, but they got a kill. Like, they did it right, but they kind of flip map too.
It's going against you. Are you really gonna wait for checkmate? They say no. They come in fighting the.
No, you're gonna try to control the high ground for now. And then you're just trying to buy time for your Torb to get back, but they might just isolate the Torb out again. The HP on AQ is not looking good.
They need to heal up and look for a pick here. They have the positional high ground here. They just need to capitalize with it.
This is rough for Diva. Yep. They do get a nice shot right there with the Torb turret. Checkmate is able to get a couple. Labda goes down. I think it's a 1v2 on point.
Checkmate making this one possible, and a 1v. He's got no HP though. Vistola. That is one of the closest fights I've ever seen.
Vistola won't be able to do anything there.
With 50 HP.
Actually, if they can kill Vistola last second here with Lucio, oh my, Vistola almost just got him.
Oh, they finally get Vistola, but wow.
Vistola's going to call that he got the kills, but it's not going to matter. They're not going to be able to do anything. What a clutch play across the board right there, chat. Holy crap.
Stabilization from AwCrap. They did what they needed to do. They bridged the gap to some of these key ultimates. VP trying to stabilize a little bit here. Jwoo getting a little bit of a cheeky stall there on the Genji, buying a bit more time.
That was wild. That was wild.
Something you got to worry about for Virtus Pro, but they're building up to a massive bank of ultimates of their own. The game really rests on the edge of a knife here. AwCrap don't want to risk getting too aggressive.
Yeah, you don't want to be aggressive because you want to play in the choke. You win the map from the top left, or you get aggressive with an ult. Yep. You don't try to force anything else in the neutral.
They're pushing through the choke.
Yeah, I don't know if...
Coming in. Virtus Pro getting the better of this engagement. Shockwave doesn't even need to necessarily pop that ultimate. Annihilation and Rally.
I don't even know if you commit ults, right? No, they're commit ults. They use beat. I think they're confident with Vistola's at to get a kill. Shockwave gets a kill on Torb turret. You could argue that's a good trade. Damn, that all lasts so damn long.
And once again, these teams are just trading. It's a bloodbath.
Yeah, the problem with the trades here now, though, is that I think...
And it's going to be AwCrap slowly but surely losing this fight. Versus Pro.
Huge trade by Checkmate. Any kill there was going to be massive, and that was a huge trade.
He always gets his one.
That is huge.
Pistola is going to go over to the D.Va, trying to match some of the pace. That forces Haku over to the Brig.
Yep, most of them got good spawn. Did Checkmate get good spawn? I don't think so. That's the downside. I think they're going to play like he did. I can't tell.
They could very much take the lead these next couple of fights.
Virtus Pro, the rookie with the blade, stands ready to potentially seize the advantage for a squad. Big rail connection from Lambda onto Fixa. He's going to cow the aggression for a moment.
Oh yeah, this is...
Cap comes in. I mean, Virtus Pro just not feeling like they can touch here. Checkmate is going to rip the ultimate.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't try to compete for the checkpoint.
Kind of an awkward rain, maybe see if there's a potential for aggression. The card's going to continue to roll. I think sort of
now the blade's going to come out next, and then this is going to be what dictates everything. I'm gonna be honest with you. If VP gets Brig out in time here, they're just gonna Brig out and Blade, and then just gonna lose it. Yeah. Yep. This should go in favor of VP. Should take the lead right here. Still far from over, but VP is gonna take a lead. Yeah.
The second half of this push map, no ultimates coming online in Virtus Pro. They're going to take the lead with less than 3 minutes remaining.
And here we go.
AwCrap, they need a hero, and his name is Lambda coming up on the overclock. That's really all the tools they have to work with in this fight. Landing close to that Ray, but it feels like this is a fight you need Lambda to win. You can't
and the aim has been
in a situation where you've already lost the advantage. Here's Lambda, overclock ripped, looking for connections.
This Lambda is like massive. It needs to connect. Does connect. Okay, so that's one team fight, right? They ideally they can get the next one, and then if they win the next team fight, they should take a little bit of a lead.
Only the overclock investment. That's big news for AwCrap now.
If they survive Shockwave's overclock here and can come back in with their own Juno ultimate, they could actually do well here. And they're going to lead with Juno ultimate. They're going to be pretty aggro with it too. Yeah, there it is. Problem is you can't get kills through this. They got to be careful when they all in the Sojourn. Good flip. Yep, there it is. Trade out the rally at least.
Not over just yet though, because have traded.
You gotta trade out.
Pistola has too much HP to make this happen. Lambda though, somehow finding a miracle kill. The trades coming in. Jvu low, the deflect.
Jvu gets the kill.
And a high HP.
I mean, they've traded out too much anyway for this to be a good team fight.
And this fight has become so incredibly scrappy. Hold on, Pistola.
Look in the back line. Wait a second.
What's going on? This should have been Virtus Pro.
I was gonna say VP should have won that.
Feels it as well. He was chasing after kills. He thought this was done.
A lifeline for
oh my!
Getting 2 picks as well, and now they will get the high ground on the Virtus.
They're gonna get the bot pushed here, but everybody got a good spawn again.
Maybe AwCrap here.
Right? No, they already hit the. No, they didn't even get a good spawn. They already hit the checkpoint prior and didn't even realize that.
Jvu had his chance with the blade.
Now you have Brig out. They're gonna Juno ultimates. You're gonna try to survive this. But yeah, if they can win this corner here, it's probably going to go lead in favor.
More maps in this series. Virtus Pro looking to hold strong.
It really comes down to this team fight, to be real with you here. Like, this is what it is.
Connection with that rally. Few percentage more for Checkmate, but he's low. Lambda already fell.
Lambda goes down. It's going to come down to Checkmate's blade, and look at the cart. That flip actually is not what needed to happen.
No connections.
They're rotating out there because they recognize they cannot take the fight against Virtus Pro.
Oh, that's going to guarantee 2 team fights, though. So VP could actually save ultimates and stack win this if they decided to. They know they have to go in.
Otherwise they're out.
Sword fight, but Jvu's dead. Drop the blade.
Oh my, they traded out. If they can take the bot right now during this. Ooh. Losing the Brig last second. They might delay until the Juno taps point. That's the right play. I actually think they should have waited like an extra 10th of a second to force the OT spawn.
Any ultimates coming up in AwCrap. They just have the self-destruct for now, but
They have Diva ult, but you can feed a little bit here because you have the Diva ult. It comes down to this. Whoever wins this team fight wins the map.
It comes down to individual plays.
That's it.
Make it happen for either team here.
Lambda has ult very soon.
If you allow this fight to go long, Lambda almost certainly going to have his way with you. Ziad also has the bomb, so that reliable backup for the taking. Here it comes. Ultimate pop, deflect out. Now the break under pressure. The flank, they were trying to force it. Genji has nothing left. He's just trying to turn it around.
Really good play by Vistola. Yep.
Ziad low. Maybe forces self-destruct. Virtus Pro fighting this immaculately. They bridge the gap. They survive.
VP's playing this so well. Really good dive, though. Yep, Vistola has ult on point. That might be the clutch. Wow. And VP takes the map 3-0, and AQ loses. I mean, VP played it perfectly. That was what happened. Like, basically, it was just, yeah, nothing else to say besides they played it perfectly.
Wow.
The way they rotated into that room, and Vistola coming back to get in front of those shots initially was just great. What really needed to happen there, and like, you know, I don't even know if VP will watch it back. I mean, not VP, AQ. They needed to just all in. Does that make sense? Like, they when they were in that room with the Genji and the Brig, I think they were afraid of, like, the Brig doing, like, maybe, I don't know, like, have an ult or something. They should have just all in and went in that way, and they would have rotated through. Right, you can see it. The Genji used deflect, and then they kind of got a little bit, like, they second-guessed that that's what the play should have been. Like, they were like, second-guessed it, and then they lost. But, yeah, I mean, VP takes the win, moves on through the lower bracket, and now you got your next lower bracket matchup coming up next.
Who is going to step up for this team?
It may have been this map, actually, that they played Wrecking Ball on. Hey, the match is starting. We're good. We're good. Match is starting.
And we're going to be going into a Winston.
Let's go.
Team CC gonna go with
that was quick. Usually when they get there, they have another 10 minutes.
But he's going up against Seeker and Sugar Free with a classic comp. Bliss
Did no Lucio on here? Yep. Pineapple with a huge pick onto Bliss. Nice shot.
Pressure on Space Station Gaming, and this first fight goes their way. Although, hold on, Tracer slept. Could be a scary spot. No follow-up on Pineapple.
Yeah, no follow-up. Should be the cap here for Team CC. And of course, when you play this very fast composition, it alleviates some of the coordination. When you're
struggling on DPS right now, it's okay. I struggle on DPS at times too, so don't worry about it.
That's not good news for
Sugar Free gets a huge pick on the Pineapple. This is going to leave the Yana susceptible. They might just flip the point right away. Kind of sucks they have to. That was just a good trade right away. Yeah, Ana's dead in a second. I mean, it's not even worth trying to survive that for too long. Actually, it is. I was going to say, I thought Sugar Free got a free kill, but it actually turned into a trade, and the Ana survived. So he's at a 4v4, and they're down on like a major support on one side. We'll see.
To be in the fight, and so SSG have control, taking into a serious lead here.
But still, though, this is a composition that CC actually can play. Lots of experience on this roster from the Overwatch League. Certainly playing the Brig, Ana, Hayokian, formerly Super Rich, was part of that Hangzhou Spark lineup with some of the ones.
Wait, Ana's back left?
They know how to play this comp, and they're getting busy in the backline now.
Yeah, I was going to say, they might be able to kill the backline now. Nice job. Diana is down. The Brig is going to be over there for a little bit. Nice job by Sugar Free using that movement to get up there. Kellen's so close to ult, but so far away. Oh, no. I don't even know if that was meant to happen. Really good barrage. That was still really good, though. I think that's what I meant earlier when you need a good barrage that wins a team fight. If Farah doesn't do that, then you just end up losing that, and that's it. That was a great ultimate. Now you want to nano. What you're going to want to do right now as Team CC is probably nano the Winston in right away because you know you're at a little bit of an ult disadvantage, so why not be aggressive to build up the rest of your ultimates and maybe get a random pick. Unfortunately, they don't. And I talked about this earlier with Team CC. They have a little bit of a timing issue where they don't go in when they should. So like what happens is they kind of give up a little bit of a free kill that they shouldn't give up, or they have moments like this where the point might flip. Really good backline pressure there. As long as they don't let the point flip to the Tracer, which could happen.
That's a painful fight.
And there you go. Really good help by Gaga. And then, yeah, so Team CC is actually kind of setting themselves up for an opportunity here. Obviously, Space Station has some ultimates that could take this team fight, but regardless, they're getting it down to a one-team fight territory if they do lose the point. So this isn't too bad. Yep, the Winston's going to all in. This is a really good flank from behind. I mean, like, obviously the Pharah goes down, but, I mean, what else are you going to do in that situation where you have no ultimates, right? You need to do something. So they went for a play. 87% is more than enough to win the game. So it's going to come down to this team fight. I like the ultimate that Team CC has in Brig. My concern is that Space Station is just going to end up Nano and Winston, and then they're going to go on the backline and get a free backline kill right away, and it's going to ruin the whole, like, flow of this team fight.
But besides that, okay, it's going to be the Nano who's on the kill. I'm going aggressive here.
Diving into the backline, looking to find some connection. So far, can't get much, but it's Seeker who finds Faraway.
That's exactly what they did. They went backline and basically killed a support because of it. And now they're going to kill both supports. Brig does help, but, like, can the Brig survive that? They do trade actually on Kellen. That was kind of a good trade for them, that situation. And a really good dive right after that. Oh, my. The only thing I will say is I do think that Space Station can tap points still. But it's not going to be the best touch.
Should be able to get this touch, should be able to get them into the fight.
Should get this touch. Buy some time for Sugar Free,
but they can still touch now because it was a little bit scuffed. Okay, Winston tap point. Far away is really close to Nano. They're probably going to take a little bit of poke damage here in a second. And they're going to Nano Winston in the moment they have it. Ready, set, Nano now. There it is. They went for Cassidy as their target. This is interesting because I feel like they had what they needed there to survive that. So instead of going for the backline, they go for that. I think they clutch it last second. What a round, though. I mean, again, if we can have a match be like this the whole way through, this is going to be a good match. But really good job by Space Station there to clutch it out last second because that was looking close. That was looking close. So, we'll see.
But that was a back and forth. I gotta say, Jake, competitive. A little bit more life out of CC than I actually expected. I thought SSG would be quite dominant here.
All right.
That was about as close as you get.
Yeah, I will say, I think Space Station bringing out the Ashe here is nice. I mean, Pharah much stronger on Well than Lighthouse, where I feel Ashe is going to have a little bit more dominance. Team CC, they need to keep the aggression up constantly. They need to be pressuring Seeker and keeping him down, not giving him angles from which to shoot. But that's far easier said than done with Kellen and Sugar Free, the amount of pressure they're putting on your backline. It's not so easy to keep on the gas.
You're seeing more of the Ashe-based comp right now?
We'll have to capitalize on these rockets. Make it hard for Seeker to peek out of this.
Drops are all day, Project Theory, yep. I'll be streaming after these matches are over still.
Yeah,
so.
A redive back to the high grab. I mean, Kellen's just full counter-diving, full trading. Listen, CJ taking a lot of folks. So low. Seeker, though, he's too healthy.
Winston on high. Good job for the Brig getting up on the high ground also. That's an impressive play. Probably because of the speed boost, maybe? Really good dive there on Kellen. They got to be careful here of getting rolled by the Brig. But really good start by Faraway right there. That was a really good dive on the high ground and then a really good just like follow-up by the team. Pineapple has a really good aim there. Yep. Why is the Brig up there? Why not? I mean, honestly, the Brig being up there, I think wins them the team fight. So,
hard time walking up against this Pharah.
That's pretty cool.
Nano online for Team CC. They could put this on Gaga or Kaneki. The dive is going to be aggressive. There instantly comes out.
Stand there, yeah.
Shot from Bliss is perfect, and this dive has no teeth. It's just Tracer, forced to read.
Pineapple has the cooldowns to get out though because of the triple blink one.
Gotta contest it.
Yep.
CC, they're fine for now. CJ coming up on the Nano, but CC, they're putting
the point. They can't let they cannot let them flip point for free. That's exactly that. That was the correct play to go back and not flip that.
Should be enough. Space Station, though, they're trying to clutch us. They're going to
wait.
The Nano onto Seeker. He's being powered with the
I was just gonna say, listen, it happens, okay? Listen, sometimes you're just feeling it, all right? Sometimes you're just feeling it, chat, and you just so happen to forget that you need to land on the map rather than off the map, right? It happens. Okay? It happens. All right?
They may be down in percentage, but when the ultimate position is like this, you feel very good on an Ashe defending the point.
Yeah, retaking with the Pharah is going to be so difficult because you really don't have any angles whatsoever to shoot these rockets, right? Seeker's gonna sit very comfortably in the backline. You have a Bob to stall out, you have a Primal Rage.
I'm ready.
Survivability for Space Station, so you can take it slow here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're going to do. They might be able to kill Gaga during that, but Ana has good positioning. Seeker's going to have to get a Bob off soon. Yep. But it might have even been like a second late on the Bob. No, really good job on the counter, so the Bob ended up being efficient. I do think the Nano from... Oh, Gaga just goes too deep again. And this is the problem I mentioned earlier with Team CC. They are clearly really good, but do you notice how like the Winston's diving into a small room, the Winston dies, and the Tracer goes in after in the same room? They just like they're not on the same page sometimes, like going in together, and that's where Space Station's winning those team fights. Is they're basically debating them into a room and hoping they get isolated out, and that's what happens.
A very slow spawn wave. Tracer still trying to stay on the map, still trying to fight, but Kellen happy to
welcome back.
Force some blinks, force some cooldowns.
That's what's happening right there.
A lot of confidence farming up this next primal. And Nano's almost online for CJ. The retake is very scary for CC here. A nade connection would be deadly.
Can I keep up slow? Get Nano
Ooh,
here.
okay.
But it's a beautiful peel Nano onto
Pretty good Nano on the Ashe, but ooh, nice play. Here you go. See, chat? Do you see how the Winston's there? Right? And then the Pharah's also going in. That's what I'm talking about.
Sugar Free not giving this one up just yet. Has cleaned up a few targets, looking to stay alive behind enemy lines. And Team CC are very aware of this threat.
Space Station has Pulse Bomb.
Sugar Free has the Pulse Bomb.
They have Winston out though. They should be fine.
Is available. Great position there from far away on the high ground. Gaga rips the primal, and it's got to be a cut.
Yeah, Sugar Free might tap point again.
Trying to stay alive. He's trying to get Seeker, but failed jump from Gaga, and that's going to cost him. The boop's coming in.
Hey, you know what? This was still a better Winston ult than the last one. So
from the support line, and Sugar Free finds the Pulse Bomb. Now it's
huge stick by Sugar Free. That might be it. I still think this is a good match though. This was probably the first like evenly matched control we've seen today. That was very good. I'm going to go make my next coffee chat in between this next map time. There should be a little bit of downtime. Good first map. Goes to SSG. Let's see if Team CC can bring it back. But so that was a good match. Be back, chat. Hit the follow button if you haven't.
I mean, Crazy Raccoon did it like an hour ago. Like, you don't have to dig that deep.
Okay, we're good.
Did they make it happen on Serve also, Jake?
I was just seeing if I had any good pictures of my cats.
Okay.
Stream, it's been good. It's been a good time.
As they should. Look, this
when does the championship actually start to earn the rewards? You're talking about getting drops? You're already getting drops. You're good. There's new sets of drops every day. You're getting drops right now. We have drops.
I mean, I think the far
yep. All right, here we go. You got Winston versus Winston, Ana Brig versus Ana Lucio. Same DPS line. So the only difference is the back line. Team CC has a very safe, like, back line that is good against aggressiveness. Sorry. And obviously Space Station is running the Lucio, which is a more aggressive base comp. You're not going to play too passive. So it's a difference in playstyle. It's definitely a difference in playstyle. Team CC is setting up the very default way to play it, and Space Station is playing aggressive. As long as the Ana Brig survive the initial burst, Team CC will be in a good spot. But it's easier said than done when there's that much pressure on the back line. This is the last series of the day, yes.
Let's see how they adapt to this play of CC, now with high ground control here on the point.
Yeah, Sugar Free on the retake. Let's see what he can get done on the Tracer. Kellen dies kind of on the high ground. And, almost zapped down.
My goodness.
The Sojourn. That was a...
Oh, I like watching these sports too. That's why I like doing the coach games. I mean, they're fun. Yep. And that's what I mean here. Like, you see that CC's playing that more, like, kind of poke style, keep your backline alive, right?
This is such a tough matchup now for CC because, like, where do you find the advantage?
Are we doing more guess my rank for my setup after this? Not today. Today is we've been doing a lot of React stuff to begin with. I'm not going to probably record any videos today. Then tomorrow I'll probably record a scuff play of the game bingo. So
is something you can start to build.
Now, this is a good nano, because now, like, they're going to have the counter nano. You have an advantage, so you have to go backline now. That was exactly what you do here, chat, by the way. Nice stick. Good play. And that's what you need to do there, is, like, you need to go be aggressive and kill them there, especially when they did the counter nano. So, good job by CC. You're going to probably see a Kellen Winston ultimate here. Both teams are in a good spot out-wise, so we'll see how this one goes. Yeah.
As well, Jake. Yeah. Big tracer moment for Kaneki, so
Pulse bomb.
Can criticize Kaneki, but came out on top there. Now, Gaga with the primal. Let's see those mechanics, Jake.
Team TC, though, need to bridge the gap to this rally. Gaga could help buy that time with the primal rage.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to wait as long as they can right now for the primal.
Now a redive, primal onto Seeker, instantly
good sleep. It's only for 3 seconds, though, so.
Pineapple trying to fire back now.
There's the beat. Brig out will happen with it. Gaga's going to go down there because Seeker gets the kill. I mean, they do trade, though. I think CC might actually be able to grind this team fight out. They can trade the point up, but they know Winston doesn't have ultimate. So they just get out. They just all in on the Winston, right?
Should be securing this first point for Team CC.
Like the Lucio will not be able to get the heals up in time.
It looked like they weathered the storm temporarily, but then
I mean, they could technically tap, but they're going to give it up. You know, oh, I say that. I think they might go for this.
He's going to die for this, right?
No ultimate.
Oh, if they get one more touch, this is starting to get scary.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous. They're going to have to pop Winston Nano. Yep.
Comes in onto Gaga. They're desperately trying to clean this one up. Seeker is going to go down to that. Space Age Gaming haven't given up yet, though. Sugar Brawn.
Really, really good play.
There it is. 3v3. Connection on the Ana. Sugar Free.
They're going to go for Ana. Yep, they have to. That is the correct decision. Gets the nano. I mean, CJ didn't even go down there. Oh, my. They flip the point, though, when CJ goes down last second, so they still have the opportunity to get in. Oh, my. Rose, thanks for giving us up. Thank you, appreciate it. Cute.
Man, this is so scary, though. Space Station Gaming with incredible tenacity. Slide force on the Pineapple. Could be a target. Seeker looking to engage. Winston on the point now, being pressured.
What a weird first fight this has been.
This is good for them. Pressure on SSG. They have to keep touching.
They trade on the Brig, and the Ana's now susceptible.
Can he stabilize? Can they keep killing alive?
The Ana goes, oh my. Chad, this is ridiculous.
This point has gone on way longer than it has any right to, but I think CJ has done it.
I can't believe that. And this is what I mean. It's like Team CC is clearly good, but when they need to work together, that's their #1 issue.
Nah, you just... Brown had the ball. You never needed to worry.
Dude, they barely got the touch in.
That stall
and they find a way.
That stall was ridiculous from SSG. The fact that
yep.
Not only able to keep that overtime alive, but they stabilized.
Team CC needs to just, like, bunker down for a second and recognize, like, it's okay to lose that point. It wasn't ideal, but it's okay.
See what they can get done. Sugar Free has that bomb, looking to stick it on an unsuspecting support. Team CC, though, have a nice bank of ultimates, just a few % away. Gaga with the
all right, Winston's going to go in very, very soon. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, CC's going to be aggressive. Both Winstons are going to be aggro here, but I do think there's a slight advantage right now for CC to be able to, like, kind of survive that initial burst, then pop Winston out. Yeah, there you go.
Here's Gaga with the primal. Can he get the connection? Trying to pull one.
Good sleep again by CJ. Good stick. Huge stick.
Yeah,
and that'll be the point there. Yep.
That's the cap right there.
They can't lose too many people here, so they got to be careful of that.
Secures the 2K.
Yep.
And now you have the ultimates. Needs to be said. You got a rally and a nano.
Oh, I mean, I agree. It was a great first point. Space Station. Okay, both teams have ults. Team CC is gonna have to be aggro with their Sojourn ultimate here if they get it in time. I think they're being a little bit. I don't know. I think this position's a little bit. Okay, they're good. They're good. Break bubble immediately. They actually purple the Winston as the nano happens. So that makes the nano worse, which forces that. But then a huge Ana grenade that prevents Brig ult. That is rough.
There's no one to heal far away. He's eventually going to fall to the sugar-free tracer most likely. Pineapple finds a connection on 2. Bliss off the map.
Bliss is off the map. Pineapple gets a kill.
Sugar-free can't do it alone, man. Where's his team? Maybe, wait, hold on.
How's he alive? Okay. Pineapple with the clean 3K there on the OC.
That was unreal.
Sugar-free is dead. Someone will have to get the touch here. Kellan should be able to jump in, or Bliss.
Okay. Just you still have this. It's okay. Just work together. Not again. Not again. Uh-oh.
this is a scary one on the retake. Pineapple's scared, though. He's playing very passive.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
Not again.
From CJ, that sends Team CC reeling. Space Station Gaming once again back in with their back.
They have to just reset.
But they're not feeling the pressure at all. They're continuing to stack it on, chasing CC all the way back to the spawn.
That was the correct play.
All the way
Oh no! I mean, that one wasn't as bad as the other one was, but still, it gets your team thinking like, uh-oh, we can't have that happen, you know?
Just make some space for Seeker here. This is what I'm talking about.
I think Kellen's Primal is the bigger threat. I mean, look at him. He's in a beautiful position to get a back dive. CC don't see this coming. Slide use. Hold on. Sojourn very vulnerable. Counterflake comes in on a Seeker. Limits on the Pineapple again. Takes down Sugar Free. Well, I was going for the pulse bomb. That's massive. Let's see what Sugar Free can do with the OC. He's got to find a connection.
Really big pick by Pineapple there.
I mean, he's pressuring the
Gaga has to ult. Do not be afraid to use that ult. They're trying to be like, very like smart with ults here, but I guarantee you, Space Station is going to pop their ult here.
About SSG is that they won't give up easy.
No, on the Seeker here, but under so much pressure, Gaga has the Primal Rage here. Seeker should go down.
No, CJ's in the back just pocketing. There you go.
And that Primal should be enough. Pineapple gets a 2
it should be enough. I mean, it feels like it's been enough for many team fights. I think did they get it? Okay, Team CC got a point, chat. Holy crap, Emerald, thanks for the gifted sub. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh my, this has been unreal.
He answered the call. Has been cutting down Sugar Free on quite a few of the last fights.
Okay, so now we're going to see if Pineapple can go in aggressively with Ultimate here. Now, do you go in with Nano Winston? I would say yes. I would say the first play you do is Nano Winston, but some teams like to opt for the Sojourn Ultimate. I just think that Nano Winston can kind of force them back and start getting that next ult rotation going. Also an opportunity to maybe Nano the Winston, but I think you don't need a Nano Winston as much. I mean, I think you do want a Nano Winston is what I meant to say. Yeah. Sojourn doesn't use ult there. Trades out, though. Now it gets a little bit suspect. Oh, I was going to say the Brig is on a tank.
They lost the Nano. It was coming out to keep the Brig alive, but don't get it in time.
Oh, they kind of hecked up this whole play. This is why they just need to be more of aggressive, like, let's just Nano our Winston in and go in play. Like, more decisive. Huge stick. Kaneki's been popping with these ults today. Really good job by Pineapple to disengage that. Seeker's now kind of... Oh, wait, the Winston just got pooped off the map. Yeah, I was going to say, I think actually Space Station will not be able to do anything to stay point. Actually, Winston's back. Kellen's going to maybe go for it soon. They're down a tank right now, but Pineapple has ult here if they really need it. Has to be careful of getting dove on right now, though. No ultimates on Space Station for a little bit, but they're going to take a little bit of poke damage right now. Actually, some of this poke damage Pineapple's doing actually might lead to a quicker Nano. Really good purple to go in there. Gaga's getting close to another ultimate.
And now it's the OC trade. Advantage for CC holding the point. Positionally gives them an edge.
Yep.
But Sugar Free with the pulse bomb could turn that right on its head. He's already starting to win this Tracer duel.
Winston's so low on point.
Putting a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, this is a good ult by Seeker.
Looks like it's just going to be a cap here.
Yeah, I think they just flip. It's actually a really smart disengage. The only downside is you might get like a Winston out or a Nano on you. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So, okay, I mean, you know, if you're Team CC, you're not like massively upset with this team fight because you got out most of their ult pool. Yep. As Jake just mentioned, like a very expensive retake. So now they're going to just probably Nano Winston in. They have two options. You Nano the Winston in right away, or you Nano the Brig on the dive to keep you alive, which will give Nano to Ana also.
Yeah, I still think you're in a good spot here.
Space Station did not win against SSG. This is the, against CR. This is the, oh! There it is. Oh my! Pineapple!
Getting out tempo there. Trade was good on the flank from Kaneki. Meant that Space Station couldn't steal the tempo.
Okay, Team CC needs to be really aggro to disrupt this Nano play. They don't have Nano. They have Brig out. But I think you get aggro.
You're not going to build this OC and on-off because you just invested it, of course. An opportunity
to
go aggressive with the rally or the Primal. Kaneki as well. As the pulse. Nano to Seeker.
Seeker finds one.
Yeah. Oh no.
As well. Gaga, are you going to primal this? Yes, he is. He's going to take the commitment.
That is a good primal.
coming in from the Brig rally, so powerful in these low number situations. Sugar Free and Kellen have to fight.
Oh, what a play by Winston.
On a rally, surely that's too much, even for Sugar Free. Taking the whip shot there.
Brig procs Inspire.
Coming in. Kellen, low HP, needs to get some support. Needs to have
I bet Kellen has the HP bubble.
Available, though, for Space Station Gaming.
They had to flip the point. Tracer has no recall though. Has blinks, but no recall.
They're masters in this kind of pressure moment.
They brought the Sombra back. I just heard so.
80% across the board. Nice, huge nade from forward.
Huge on a grenade. That might be enough to just like pressure him back. They're gonna have no ults. Space Station's gonna flip this. Yep. Dude, these are such like unreal team fights.
And cleaning up what looks like the second point on Surabasa.
Wow.
Into overtime, Johnny. Team CC are
what a play.
For it, but Space Station come out on top.
They stalled it.
For Charles, thanks for the 55 months of the Prime sub. Thank you. Appreciate it.
In that overtime fight.
Sounds good. Have a great, that sounds like an awesome license plate. Have fun.
They find a way to just stay alive for long enough to build the ultimates.
I love it. Heck yeah, congrats on your new car.
2-1 lead here on Surabasa.
This is not a good spot for Team CC. Big ultimate bank for Space Station. They're in point position here, in control. Kellen comes over the flank, gets up, but he's got a primal. You don't want to go in a small room with Kellen right now, and they have to fall back here.
Kind of a decent disengage by CC, especially if they survive this. Yeah, that, I mean, CC had a really, really good disengage, and now they can just go in with Nano Winston.
They get the point cap off it. That's something, but well played by Team CC.
Just need to take damage. Nano Winston, just be aggressive. Don't give him any opportunity.
They have the advantage in the ultimate bank here. Oh, nice nade onto Seeker.
Kiting, beautiful slides. Gets out of trouble. Just barely survives. CJ now has
the sleep, but dive on the Ana to maybe trade out.
On the flank. There's two from CJ.
Oh no!
Gets to clean up, and Team CC so close yet so far.
I thought CC was going to take that team fight. Again, though. I know. What a great play across the board from Space Station.
They shouldn't have won that fight. They were in a hole. They used all their ultimates, and yet they turned it around. Beautiful kite by Seeker, and then CJ turns it around once more. And now, this is last fight territory.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Team CC, they have the ultimates they need. Nade comes in, though. Brig forced into a very defensive position on the rally.
Gaga gets the kill. I mean, you got to commit ultimates here. You got to win the team fight, so I think they cleanly win this. No more ults.
Two key ultimates, and they're able to reset.
What is... this is looking rough, though, because the Brig ult. Pineapple needs to get Sojourn ult as quick as possible. We'll see, though. That might be it. You need Pineapple to build the ultimate up in time, and then pop the ultimate ASAP and hope to get a kill. All while maintaining point. Good luck.
Now CC falling back, hoping to force an overtime. They know they need their Ana in this team fight, but the clock's against them. They have to
need a miracle from Pineapple.
He's
yeah.
Sugar Free cuts him down even after the headshot.
Yeah, Sugar Free had 1 HP on that. These matches are so close. Like it's not like it's not even like Space Station is rolling these matches.
Oh my God.
Both games have been really close, but Team CC just loses the important team fights. So Winston is the best dive tank right now. Yeah, I mean, Wrecking Ball is really good too, but yeah, Winston's. Why do you think I always say, chat, that Winston's very, very good? Like, it used to be you had an option between Winston and D.Va. Now you're pretty much going Winston unless your team is really comfortable with D.Va. Winston is just better.
Both teams locking in a Lucio Kiri, and it's just another Winston run back from SSG. I mean, I can't blame them for not wanting to change anything. It's working. Why shift it up now?
I feel like this is going to be the composition as well that kind of decides this tournament, Jake. Early on in tournaments, we usually...
Okay, here we go. Can Team CC have a good Route 66 and bring it to another map, or will it be right here? Let's find out.
Bro, Falcons are going to force some kind of a MAUGA. Mark my words.
Well, you know.
Mark my words.
MAUGA team's going to MAUGA, but at least we're getting some Winston gameplay here, Jake.
Yeah, a couple players dropping super low right off the rip for CC. Spawn hold looking really nice for SSG.
Ooh, nice shot. Good start.
Quick right click from Kellen. And the spawn camp. This is a spot where things could get
Is Sojourn in every game?
Team CC needs to break this.
In a lot of games. I mean, we had a couple games where Sojourn wasn't. I mean, but yeah, but I'm not surprised. I mean, Sojourn's a very, very, very good hero, right? Like,
This is
just no surprise.
Gaga goes down as well.
This is a good hold so far by.
Okay, Seeker off the map.
This is a good hold so far by Space Station. Anytime you can hold this, even for one team fight, you kind of already accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. So, over a minute off the clock. Cart's just now moving. You build good ultimates. It's pretty chill. Yep.
Like if you're Space Station Gaming, like you didn't really lose anything. You'll get back with speed. It's not like CC can capitalize with any kind of positioning here. Yes, you have some garage roof control here.
If SSG move fast, they can get the 3 fight here. That's the dream in this map.
We'll see what happens.
AwCrap, very quick beat though. I wonder if SSG see this coming. Bliss only 50% to his own.
So a few up on the top left.
They need to capitalize on this. Kellen's extremely low. Forced out of the fight. CJ
really good job by Team CC there. Using like kind of an aggressive beat style play. If they can push bot for a little bit. This is actually not a bad idea, chasing Sugar Free for a little bit.
1v2 against the Lucio? Surely even Sugar Free can't do this.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a stagger actually.
I don't even know if it's a stagger anymore because I think they need to get away from there. Yep. Honest.
I don't think that's good there for SSG. Now 5 versus 4 situation.
Yeah, but like I think SSG's proven they can win some of these really like long like team fights that shouldn't be won. So nice, good job. Yeah, good job by CC. A little bit of a slow start, but really started to get going there. Nice job.
Okay, pushing the
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
Wants to get involved in front of the crowd.
Crowd's starting to feel it, getting some of the energy.
Yep, yep.
That's what Team CC needs. You find a little inch in this series, start to get some of that momentum, start to
exactly get the energy going.
Pulse bump connection just with the
I like it.
Let's get aggressive here. Gaga close to a primal rage. Make some space for Pineapple here.
Tracy's gonna sit on the.
To come out. Sugar Free takes the low ground here. So
yes, they did swap a DPS. Yep.
All safe and fine. And now they can build on this positioning here. Gaga is contesting, has a primal, should be able to stay alive.
Yeah, this should be good for now.
Just both teams trading positioning here, Jay.
Team CC is going to be really aggressive soon with Winston Ultimate because you pretty much need to keep this map control. Yep. I really like the idea. What a shot. I mean, what do you even say to that? Team CC made the correct like reaction, and then that's what happens. What a shot.
It's a lost primal there for Gaga as well.
What a shot.
With an ultimate. This is SSG now. Very comfortable. They have a primal as well. They can invest. Maintain that space. Keep Kellen alive. Bliss as well with the sound barrier. SSG looking good here. At CC, they have to find something going for them to get out of these close choke points.
Walking out high ground, so difficult. Gaga takes a bit of attention. Here's Pineapple.
They're going to use beat aggressively again. Yep, there it is. We saw this happen last time. Really close there in the beat. Kellen's going to be aggro on the outside. So Pineapple, they just try to get in here. Pineapple actually hit a really good shot there because that cleaves. But I think Kellen's going to get the kill on Sojourn. Good job by Kellen. I mean, pretty clean. Kind of exactly what you need there. And that was like the difference there. Like Pineapple goes up there, sees 3, hits 3, like all 3 of them, but it was a body shot. Seeker gets ulted into the air and hits a tracer shot. And that was the difference. Like that was straight up the difference.
Can't trade Kitsune Orchards here. This high ground, so good for SSG. So difficult for CC. They have to kind of rotate here to the left-hand side, find an opening. Gaga is going to work his way under here to contest that position.
Yeah, they got to slow play it for a second. They do have their Kitsune, but it's going to be double Kitsune.
On offense. Yeah. You have it for far away, but using it is not easy. Rush comes out for ZJ on defense.
Yep.
Insane. Trying to battle out on this high ground. The rest
they disengage this almost perfectly.
Trying to kite away from that ultimate.
Now they can come back with their own Kitsune. Yep, and now they're going to disengage out, but like that was still clean gameplay from both teams. Clean gameplay from both teams, 100%. Lucio's a little bit out of position. They're going to look for that, but...
So you finally got some space here if you CC, but SSG, they have a pulse bomb in hand.
Yep. This pulse bomb will be kind of a make or break.
Should be what SSG can engage with.
Kellen as well, 70 to the next primal.
Yep.
They're playing it slow on space.
Which is a good idea, playing it slow. And I think that they kind of recognize that. They use the beat aggressively again. The Sojourn's low on high, but they are able to trade Sojourns, and now they get kills again. Damn.
Beat is over for the Lucio. He's near Seeker with the overclock. Just finishing off.
They might stagger the Kiriko. Nope.
Team CC
That was their best shot.
Yeah, I was going to say now Team CC is going to get out-ulted. But like with the way this series has been going, this will be the team fight that Team CC wins somehow. Like this will be, it will make no sense. It will make 0 sense.
All the ultimates they need to halt CC's push here on the second point, Jake.
Just oppressive here
False bomb.
from this defense.
Or just do that.
Down on the rotate. Gaga, are you even going to primal this? Pineapple has found one.
Pineapple gets a kill, but we got to reset. Far Away gets another kill, so I mean, I guess there's a world where they could still. It gets Pulse out. That's huge. Now Gaga can be very aggressive with Winston ultimate on the back line. As long as they can get the card communicated here, there's a chance Team CC can take this. I think.
Gaga has the primal rage here. Or they got the touch. Can make space here for Pineapple, but Pineapple needs to pop off.
There's the beat. There's a Kitsune. Nice shot by Pineapple. Nice shot on the Lucio. If they can get the trade on Winston, that would be unbelievable.
He's chasing this one down. He's got him dead to rights. He's just gonna fall back to the cart. Let that
it's too close, but I think it's gonna go in favor of.
Getting the full blink reset is gonna stay alive. Potential retake here on the cards for
yeah.
Seeker fights far away, and Kellen is back, full HP in the fight, close to that next primal, and this is Space Station Gaming making the hold.
Wow. And the problem is there is like you probably go, oh, why don't you chase the Winston? It's just too risky in that spot because what happens is that like CJ spawns up there or something, teleports to the Winston, throws cleanse down, and now that Winston's dead, right? It's going to be a hindsight, like you probably can still kill the Winston there, but I don't even know if the Winston made the difference anyway. The Winston came up there for like cleanup duty, was not there to like, it wasn't because the Winston was there that they won to begin with. So I don't even know if like killing the Winston would have made a difference. By the time they came back, they were already in cleanup mode. But I don't know. It's probably one of those like maybe if you kill the Winston, they you know in hindsight, if they don't kill the Winston. Or if they kill the Winston, then they can't TP to the Winston, which is probably what happened. And then they get TP to point right after, because Swift Step's a quick cooldown. So,
a very strong opening defense, maybe a spawn camp to really slow Space Station Gaming down. You gotta
kind of all makes sense there, you know?
If they get rolling on this map, this series could be over.
Yeah, I mean, SSG, they shaved 1 minute of the timer here in spawn, and that's a beautiful first kind of contest, because then you leave 3 minutes, of course, for the rest of the point, and you know, SSG, they kind of arguably messed up that first point defense. Could have had 3 touches perhaps, so Sugar Free died in spawn. If CC can replicate that, there is a chance. We've seen first
here we go, chat.
On this map before. So
a Widow at the beginning.
No way, bro.
A TP Widow strat. Oh no, you don't see that every day.
Spawn camp is over. Space Station Gaming.
You don't see that every day. That was sick.
Looking for more without Lucio. They're playing confidently into the front line. Team CC have to fall back.
Let's shoot the games tomorrow. That's the plan.
So much.
Yep, that's the plan tomorrow and Sunday. Then I'll take Monday off, and then we'll go hard again on Tuesday.
Team CC home. Luckily for them, it's not a long flight.
Oh my. Okay, Kella jumps up on test base here.
It's not again. Big rail from Seeker got followed up, and Kellen is healthy and happy on the high ground.
The only thing that's going in favor for Team CC right now is that the cart wasn't being pushed, which allows for another team fight. That's the only positive from those first 2 team fights.
I think they're gonna. I mean,
they can retake. They're going to retake. Yeah.
Team CC on the retake. Good luck coming out, man. This is so scary. You have no map position. No one's able to start this fight. You got to walk through the chokes, but look at this Kellen counter dive. Bubbles off the back line.
Ooh, that's a huge pick.
CJ. Okay, this is the retake you needed.
And I think that's going to be a clean retake at that, too. They needed a clean retake also.
Great jump by Gaga onto the rooftop.
Okay. They needed that.
Make space for the rest of his team, and oh my god, that looked like it was going to be a you know.
Remember what I was saying, Chad? They did a good, you know, that them not pushing the cart. That ended up being a very good difference there. And then that's exact. No, you don't even. Oh. They can hold still. They're really close to Kitsune. They have a Kitsune advantage. And they're gonna do that. They're gonna pop Kitsune. They're not gonna wait on the Sojourn. They know it. They have to pop this. Unless Insane gets a pop. Oh no. That was the last pick that they needed. Oh man. Emrose, thanks for the gift sub. Thank you. They did such a good job retaking, and they fell apart on like the neutral.
They're snowballing over the defense. So isolated. He could primal this.
Holy crap.
Kellen, for now, discipline.
So patient.
The better path.
Disciplined. Iron will from Kellen here. Can hold close.
Recalling
they have so many ults, Jake. They have so many ults.
Oh, and Secret cuts down Lucio again. Sojourn on the high ground, forcing everyone out. CC have to.
Oh, this is gonna be so rough for CC. I just don't know if they can. Like, even if they miraculously like win this team fight, which they could based off of their ults, they need to do this for 4 minutes, and they've proven that they can compete and play well, but they always lose the really clutch moments right now, and that's been their problem. Like the really like clutch moments.
And the pressure is
Got the loot box. Let's go. Heck yeah.
Space Station with full position. Kellen primaling in the choke, disrupting this fight before it even begins. Seeker finds Pineapple. The beak, it's nothing from CC.
I think that's it.
Gaga needs to come up huge with the primal. Seeker's already found another. Only Gaga and Insane stand in the way of Space Station Gaming, who are cruising towards another capture.
And there it is.
Down. Tracer finds the bolt, but cannot touch. Team CC
and that's it.
Home. Space Station Gaming.
What I will say, by the way, chat, is while Space Station won that 3-0 and they played it very well, I also want to give credit to CC. CC played them tough. I want to point that out. CC did not make this easy on Space Station. That map obviously was a little bit rough, but like that was not an easy matchup for them. So credit to CC, like they played that well, right? And they did not make it easy. And it's honestly like a match like that is also really good for Space Station because they need a match where like it's not an easy like win or matchup and have to kind of grind through like some team fights. And that was really good. So that can bring momentum into the next day. Obviously, they have a lot of tough matchups coming up, but I think that can lead to the next day on that one.
They're the tips of the spear